Definitely long. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to San Marcos Poetry Nights.
Yeah.
I am your host, Potato Mike.
Oh, yeah.
You may refer to me as such, or whatever you want. And so, yeah, this is what we do. We meet the first Thursday of every month right here with the Dead Cafe. We have 3 rounds. We have a sign-up sheet right here. Put your name on it if you want to read.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna be like that?
That's it. Yeah, it's all good. I won't do it again, I promise.
Pointed it.
And so yeah, if you want to read, put your name on the list, and then you go for each round. At the end of each round, we take a little break. Tip your barista, get your drinks, get married, etc., etc. Also at the end of round 1, we take a big group picture. Because everybody needs to see just how happy and awesome y'all are, and just be jealous that they're not here.
That's right.
Blah, blah,
That's right.
because this goes on the San Marcos Poetry Night page, which is on the Book of Faces. So, without further ado, let's just kick it off. We got Thom and Scott. Hey, give it up, Scott.
I bet you're wondering, probably you're not, but there's an awful lot of people got a fixation with the past. I'm one of them. I'm speaking 4-letter word book, 4-letter word look, 4-letter word here, because these are oracles and oracles. Most of our world's painted visuals art on the walls. Discard, don't buy, just look at the price tags. But occasionally, you'll hear a sacred word or a sacred wound that filters through all the blockade against all the advertising in this world. So something like be, something like breathe. You say, I heard it before, I got the t-shirt and been to war. Come back with PTSD and I can't even spell it backwards. I've got dyslexia, I can't spell it backwards. So you come to a gathering because solipsism and narcissism are not entirely satisfactory. You can wank by yourself, but it's far better to do it in company. And language, of course, is not just a game. It's a spell, a chant, an invocation, an invitation. It's a bridge between the abysses that confront us every time you see what is and what could be. But I'm in love with what was. I got a litany of train carriages. Does anyone remember carriages? Does anyone remember?
Of course.
Some people improvise and memorize long before the printed page tyranny the cage to put all butterflies and birds and bees into threatened species. Before they Google your name and tell you that they own the copyright to Facebook and any entry you put on will belong to the corporation, any words you say will be used against you. It doesn't apply in this tiny sanctuary. This small amount of exception to the rules. 2 4-letter words, open and mic, resonate like wings, Heisenberg and Heraclitus. Now you say, there ain't nothing certain these days that babies coming from Syria washed up on the beaches from Libya. And that may be true, but we're refugees too. Because we use language as a wound and a bandage. Your response is everyone. Your response is everything. Because the furniture does not need these words. The walls don't need them. And even the people who hear them will say, I've got my own words and they're better than this. But the invitation is to go beyond our safety nets, to go to the unexplored worlds that have not yet words to corral, entice, define, refine, and communicate. To elucidate the Eleusinian mysteries of 2015. Because the past, to which I am addicted, stops here and now. And in this tiny moment tonight together, your words better be more golden than this aluminum, this tiny shining of an insect's skin when every species of silence is threatened. Miranda, you have no rights. Peace is a butterfly, and all the bees are dying. They were so busy once. Welcome to your honeycomb. Woo!
All right, that was Thom and Scott's. Start things off like they always do. So awesome. So coming up next, we've got Magic Jack. Get up, Magic Jack!
Yo, mama.
Good evening, fellow poets
Oh.
and writers and citizens of San Marcos. How many people here are actually from San Marcos?
Hey!
How many people here are from someplace else? Everybody else. Everyone up on this side of the room is from Austin or
Victoria.
beyond Victoria.
Yeah.
We come from long distances to be here with you folks, or as they say here, all y'all. Because this is the happening place. It's more happening than anything that's happening in Austin tonight. Because if there was something happening in Austin tonight, we would be there. So we're here. And let's make it happen. All right, so this is about the spark of madness. I wrote this for the Austin Writers Roulette Sunday, but I'm going to read it for you today. A spark of madness that was never expected, what became of the innocent child, the angelic son. In the process of becoming, in the precious ascending, what forces are working that we cannot see to be, making the rising sea of madness in thee. Some return, broken legs, arms, skull injuries, but it is the tram of the soul and the heart that strikes deep. Damage is done, carried through life, passed through genes, a wave of madness, a wave of fear, a wave of distress. There are forces at work within and without. My distressed brother could not reconcile. He was born different, knowing he could not fit in like the others, comfortably, smoothly as they, but he could amuse. And when he was out of jokes, he took to the road, disappearing. Madness was driving him. His devils followed him. War is madness, a madness that is more than sparks. Those sparks beget fire, and fire consumes all before it. And all that lies before its way is destroyed. How do good men allow the insane to command them? Where are the firemen to squelch the crazy sparks that are going wild? And there is war inside as well. Inside the mind, affecting the heart and the soul. Tortured both day and night, past being tempered. Insanity is a mind out of control, living outside of borders. Some are attracted to the strange light of mad sparks and flames, but they are more hellfire than sunshine. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so coming up next. All right, we got this guy. Just deal with him. Just comes, once a month. You just kind of get over it. But anyway, it's me. Hey!
That guy.
That's my little joke. And so this is something I kind of jumping off of what Jack was talking about. This is sort of a different kind of spark, different kind of fire. It's called Phoenix. Noun. 1, a mythological bird. 2, a survivor and a strong-willed person. 3, the product of tragedy and rebirth. What's in the mind of a phoenix that allows it to writhe perfectly well within the fiery limitations of a daily hell? What's in the heart of a phoenix that beats defiant against an unseen tyrant and just drums along to an unheard song? What's in the body of a phoenix that can weather the punishment of a hell storm and somehow emerge scarred into a beautiful form? What is it in a phoenix that defies any standard explanation by becoming victorious only after the moment of combustion? Thank you. And coming up next, we've got Louise. Get over, Louise. Yeah!
Hey, I mentioned a couple of children's games in this poem, and I will explain them to you after the poem. Because I think my cousins and I made them up. Memory. Memory stretches back more than halfway in the century past. Too many television shows, you might think. my first great disappointment when Jay Hodson, KTVC's Uncle Jay, announced the cancellation of Barker Bill's cartoons. Memory speaks of cousins playing Sticky Bear and Davy Crockett Shot a Bar. Memory reminds of times lost, of friends forgotten, of years I will never see again.
Oh.
Now, I think perhaps my cousins on my mother's side of the family and I made up this game. It's called Sticky Bear. And it's your basic tag game. One person is Sticky Bear, and Sticky Bear goes to tag people. Sticky Bear has a cave, usually my grandmother's front porch. And there are one or two bases that are trees in the yard. So. And then Sticky Bear catches you, takes you to his lair, but if someone sneaks in behind and tags you, you can get out. Right? So one of those games. Now the other one was introduced to me by my cousins in San Angelo on my father's side of the family. And the idea is to get a line of people, 4 or 5 people, the last 1 or 2 don't know the game. That's essential. And each one follows in suit. First round is Davy Crockett shot a bar, and the next person says war, over there. Next time, and then they do that on down the line. Davy Crockett shot a bar, war, over there, on down the line. Davy Crockett shot a bar, war, over there. Davy Crockett shot a bar, war, over there. And then you crush the person on the inside. There's also one called the Game for the Rabbits. But anyway, try these with your children. Thank you. I didn't say it was funny. I just said it was real.
Now screw that. We're gonna do that in round 3. Round 3 is now Sticky Bear. So get ready, folks. All right, coming up next, we've got Robyn. Everybody give it a Robyn, yay!
Mikyal, beloved of Hecate and Athena, you grace the cover of an innocent book of poems. Mikyal, you bring experience to the mice we might have been without you. Look at one more short. Well, you're luck. I can't find the other one, so I'll read it next round. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Our next poet is a very good friend of mine, the beat poet of Victoria. I mean, it really, there's no getting around it. He's got an open mic in Victoria as well. He's doing a lot for the poetry all around Texas.
Who's featuring there this month?
You are. Oh, I am. That's right. Yeah, I'm featuring there in like 5 days or some such.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be cool. But it's in Victoria, so y'all come on down.
That only works one.
Yeah.
Out.
That's not gonna happen.
All right. So without further ado, give it up for PW.
Probably needs to be raised.
Nah, I can fill you.
I don't doubt that.
He doesn't need no freaking mic.
Just needs a drink.
That's the best part of the act.
There you go.
This is new. It's not seen a computer or a monitor or an ISP at all yet. Man, I listen to the news these days. I don't have a TV anymore. I listen to the news these days. It's time to write a poem.
Yes.
It is time to write a poem about riding a trailways bus through Alabama, a poem about Piggly Wiggly, state policemen, and flags and grits and backyard bred attack dogs. It's time to write a poem because What we've been doing ain't working. These guns and prisons, these laws and churches, they must have seemed like good ideas at some point. All these wars. It's time to write a poem of witness, a great American yowl, a howl, a yes, yes, y'all, and it don't stop. It's time. It is not time for ballads. I know no tune but my own. It is time to write a poem because it ain't coming on TV. It's time to write a poem, to mail off to foreign lands, to send off to the moon, off to the grand goof, to the goddess, to the cosmic Colorado trash man, because prayer ain't working like it used to. It's time to write a poem. Today, on a Thursday, on Saturday night, drunk or sad or covered in sweat, shivering on a park bench, with tubes and machines hooked to my arteries, before opening the condom wrapper, before paying the toll or making those reservations, it is time to write a poem. It's time to write a poem because this won't last forever. And no one else is covering the story because all those millennial promises, they never came true. And I am tired of waiting. It's time to write a poem for Highlights magazine, for children's and medical waiting rooms, folded into boxes and sold from cigarette machines. It is time to write a poem using only what's in your pockets. Do you have a light? Poetry ain't shit most days. But it's time to write a poem while we still can. It'll only be a moment. It's time to write a poem.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Watch out.
Amen to that. All right, anybody that's just joined us, y'all in the back, y'all plan on reading? Yeah. You read it?
Yeah. So yeah. Come
What's
forward.
your name again? Wayne.
So you're just gonna put me on there, assuming that's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Alright, fine.
Magic.
Yeah.
Franklin.
Yeah, that is gonna be that.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're gonna, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
Got the
There's
hat.
still 3 chairs up here.
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
3 chairs, hip hip hooray.
Okay. All right. And coming up next, we've got Scott. Everybody get up for Great Scott. Hey!
Good to hear from you, man.
I'm finding more over recent weeks or days that when you care about someone, you really love them, it becomes less and less necessary to apologize for what you do. So, seeing y'all's eyes and what we're going to share here tonight, I'm going to just read the poem and not have a preface or an apology for it. How do I love poem? Would you like to hear that now?
Mm-hmm.
Then I give you this. How do I love poem? I love poem the way poem loves life, having saved so many of them. If in fact not in its own mysterious way saved or even maybe birthed all of them. And yet it has ended so few of them, if any of them ever at all. I love the way the poem is. Every single leaf, limb, branch, twig, fruit, and nut, born as they are from the very life tree. with every single thing I have. Every fiber of my bones, every droplet of my being, even if, or perhaps just because, I do not know from where it springs, nor what seed nor nut it was born. I cherish every single one of them. See none of them as more poorly written, nor worse than any other, nor any better, nor well written. If poems are written with the blood of love, then I most certainly share blood with them, and am proud and joyous to call them my kith and my kin. How can I possibly play favorites with our children, Zeus, Apollo, etc. aside? I love poem exactly because it is the fruit born from the poetry. And when they bloom, whether in private or public, it is as if my heart is exploding with love, life, lust, joy, tenderness. And every single emotion I have is running out of me in one continuous stream. Where else are the all and nothing so completely conjoined? Like grape into wine and rain into drink that quenches one's thirst. I love poem the way light wraps no bones about it as it diffracts through a prism, leaving only its essence upon the screen, hand, window, or forest stretched out before it. Raise your eyes to it and you are not blinded, but ever more so enlightened the longer you stare at it. Fish caught not by hook or crook, but by tender, gentle hands held in the water until they swim into them. And then, after long, loving, mutually appreciative stare, they are open, and they swim contentedly, though swiftly, away. I love those little bits of the poetry so much that were I to love any of them, even an infinitesimal less, it would mean I did not love myself at all. And when she, any one of them, and yet each also distinctly and uniquely, or perhaps even mentally, he and I make love, it is as if words like children and an infinite number pour out of us into our world, and we are the light passing through every single one of them. And yet none of them are any more so nor less loved than any other. And I would rest peaceful, utterly quiet, and completely still beneath them, if it meant even for an infinitesimal moment they were more free, or felt some bit of the divine and sublime purpose I feel when I see, hear, or read even a single one of them. Each human, face, rock, stone, bird, toad, worm, brick, fan, cow patty is like that to me, because I have felt poem rush through me. Not like, but love eternity, and all will be merely the sweetest smell you ever smelt, because it reveals the inside, not the without. Poem is my lover. Poem is my betrothed. Poem is my deliciously sensual hug that does not end when we part, but only begin, because it is the fruition of the thought, I am her everything, and she is my all. Only when eternal love, the most truly immaterial of all witnesses, flows through and out everything else, does our passion cease. And then we are no longer needed at all. For then peace reigns completely and utterly supreme. Peace reigns completely and utterly supreme. That is how I love poem. Poetry is the tree of which I am merely a dryad singing its verse song. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. That was very lovely.
Very lightweight. Oh yeah.
Lovely. Hey now.
I thought you said lightweight.
Don't think that about yourself or your poetry. Who's next? Oh, were we all doing your thing next?
We were gonna go a couple back.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay. That works. All right, coming up next, we've got Ryan James. Ryan James, everybody give it Ryan James, yay! Does this get longer?
Yep.
Yes. You mean taller or
That,
Yeah,
that,
taller.
that knob right there. That
This
right
one.
here.
Ah, there we go. Thank you.
Don't kill him. There you go.
They say you're supposed to write what you know. So this is a poem about writing bad poetry. It's called I Heart Thesaurus. Deprivation is the pioneering investiture. Malnutrition. As menfolk in ages bygone absconded their habitats to search westward for more fecund acreage, I also inaugurated a prodigious endeavor, laying first the foundation in cereal. The great American plains bellow deeply with amber waves, its yeasty tempestuousness made nude by prudent use of a sawtoothed vein through serene violence. The divvy sliver, the apportioned allotment, like Kansas City, true street, the dark is marginalized, the bleached foregrounded, apartheid in Durham. Vessels are requisite. Percival sought the Grail, and equally a sojourn is mandated of the assemblage in totality. Where the cavalier equestrian did necessitate a solitary decanter, I resolved to appropriate double, and attained it in the scullery. The undertaking is a permutation. Consecution is imperative. The initiative cask, bearing the labors recalling Mr. Carver and the agrarian national larboard he so esteemed and so delivered. The viscous suspension once applied on that aforementioned stands stalwart as a sentry securing the sustenance set southward, at which point an encore presentation is not without compulsion. Merely, then, may the fruits of our passion be exhibited from its flagon, emitting forth, second, as a confectionary blessing upon the emergent citadel of savory gastronomy. The pectin preserves a proverbial jewel in the crown of glory that inaugurates actively in our midst, impotent to despise or disdain the desiccated dough exterior of the goober boundary. And thus, as a man shall leave his mother and father, what began with division culminates in unity, whereupon two become one flesh, a hero verily wrought, and cast asunder straightway, dispatched to the masticating dentition in service of the killing field that is my appetite, so that as such its calling was resolved, and its telos fulfilled, triumphant. It savored like nostalgia itself, like poolside summers and infantile laughter. It discerned similar to chilled lemonade at June solstice and cocoa at Christmastide. It tasted like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That was great. You know, I think there's times when something can be so bad that it's great, and that's what that poem is. So bad it's great. And I totally understood. I knew all those words that you said.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not bad for a guy from Victoria.
Public school. Texas public school too.
Strowman or VHS?
Strowman.
Ooh, even.
Yeah.
Even more impressive.
I survived. Coming up next, we've got Sadie. Coming away, Sadie.
Whoa.
There you go.
Good host.
Whoa.
Good host.
Maybe I'm a walking love letter. Maybe I need you to read me before my words feel as forgotten as I do. Maybe I'm about finding love and growing up, but maybe I'm just a little more than that. I might have been written with a pinch of how-tos, and maybe the how-to I specialize in is how to exist comfortably in your own skin. I don't exist comfortably in my skin. I've carved too many cliches into my 3 thick layers trying to change it. Maybe I'm a hardcover book who wishes she were paperback because she's tired of having a spine that takes up too much room. Maybe that didn't translate well. Maybe the only reason I want to be paperback is because I'm tired of constantly protecting myself, and maybe I've written this poem 3 times and I can't seem to get it right. Maybe I'm afraid it sounds too dark. But I was told to write my dark corners down to make room for the light. I need you to read me. Underline every part that makes you want to scream, that makes you want to cry, but also the parts that make you laugh and smile. Because I need to know that I'm not just a litany of mistakes. I'm a parade of happiness too. And maybe I need to be reminded every once in a while that I'm human, just like the rest of you.
So thank you very much. And you know, I'm noticing we're getting a lot of like new faces, and that's really awesome. So yeah, applause to all the new faces. You people are awesome.
Plastic surgery.
My politician. You people are awesome. To the people in the back in the areas that have just joined us, if you want to read, here's the list. You sign it. It's a magical document.
Oh yes.
That guy, is he going to read, sir? Maybe no. All right.
Just say
That's
yes.
fine.
Yes.
Okay, coming up next, we've got Kayla. Everybody give her Kayla. Yay!
The second time here.
That is true.
So I apologize to everyone who's not new here because I read this poem last time. But I originally decided I was going to read 3 brand new poems, but I decided to perfect them before performing them on stage. Okay? I need a vacation from my mind. I need to escape the cold, icy parts of my brain that have only been touched by the burning whiskey that trickles down my throat, slides into my heart, and is drowning my every thought in a burning sensation of relief. I keep wishing that this whiskey will be the suitcase I can support myself on when my mind becomes a titanic tragedy. Sailor Jerry is the captain of my ship, and as soon as it gets crushed, my emotions drown me, and I become consumed by an unforgiving weather of comments. Look at that, fatty. Is she eating again? You're just another burden. You're a body and a pretty face. You're easily replaceable, you stupid ditz. Debating whether I should get help or maybe wait until spring comes and defrost the cold shoulder I have given anyone who reaches out to help me. Maybe autumn will be better, when I can fall like leaves off a tree and camouflage myself in the leaves. Well, the leaving of people, because they're tired of me being sick, of tired people thinking sickly. I am tired. They say I need to leave. I just think I need a vacation from my mind. I need the butterflies in my stomach to come out of hibernation. They are in this cave. I've kept them fearfully hostage and scared that one day they might find love and leave me. Not to mention that they're starving, not only because I refuse to feed them, or myself for that matter, but because they haven't felt important since his lies entered my ears and escaped through the blood on my forehead after he slammed me into a metal locker for the 4th time that month. Luckily, I didn't need stitches. Luckily, only the bruises were visible. Luckily, no one around me cared enough to tell me that it wasn't normal. Luckily, I don't remember why he was mad. His anger explodes like a landmine I didn't know I had to look out for on a battlefield I mistaked as home. The explosion rattles me again and is silently banging my brain, telling me I need to break up with him again, telling me I can do better. Telling me he is the only person who can love a girl with more scars than friends, more luggage than love. I need a vacation from my mind, but I can't afford the hidden baggage fees.
Ooh. Awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, more people are here. Yay! Yay! Are you gonna read?
Yes.
For round 1?
Sure.
Okay. Got you?
Yeah. I have 2.
All right.
So.
What is, okay. Yay, people!
I can do 3 if I can do it.
One time.
Hold your beginning.
Alrighty, everybody. Coming up next, we've got Link. Everybody give her a Link. Yay!
Okay, I wrote this for my final last year for my English class, and I was in a little bit of a dark place, and there's quite a bit of vulgarity. So,
vulgarity!
That's what I needed to hear. All right. There is something specific that I hate, and the more that I try to become that, it has gotten worse before times of late. Since I was younger, told by my mom and dad to grow up tough and don't be a pussy. But do what makes you most happy in life, just so long as you ain't always lazy. So stop blaming me for all of your strife. Well, I'm sorry that your beatings taught me, and I'm sorry that you are unhappy now. I'm sorry that I'm not your company, and that your smile is also your frown. Fuck you, old man, and your shameful ass ways, who will never once see one of my plays. I am terrified. You could never understand how much I hate him. Oh, but the story isn't about my father, or even mother. I used to be such a dunce to them all. They would ask me questions and they would snicker. So I was the jester and took the fall, and they were the ones to pull the trigger. I had no dreams at first, and due to them making my life a living fucking hell, I changed the way that I saw them back then, simply as people that murder could sell. Just students that I wanted respect from, and teachers that I hoped hated me. After all, they saw me as just a crumb, and my ass, if leaving there, set them free. And then them all snug, volleying their own brimstone is still not enough. They will be alone. But not even them is this poem addressed to. Definitely not. Why are they mentioned? To be honest, I don't know. Undeserving fucks. Every time I think I've done well, I see the success that others have earned, and my feelings of anger seem to swell. I understand that all I have learned is nowhere close to what I want to know. I am full of envy to all of them, and feel like the stupid fucking sideshow. Look at all of them, perfect veterans, while I, the beginner, sit there watching them, talking, giggling, reminiscing, where I can talk to them about nothing. I sit there watching and also missing. I wish I was a lot more like they were. Unfortunately, I deserve to burn. Why can't I be smart? Why did I not start sooner? I wish I had done more. I try my hardest. I try keeping up with them, but it's all for naught. These feelings started with the one that I hurt. When I got a report card, I would say, doing well, only 350s, it won't hurt. Then I'd look over at her with straight A's. It was at that moment that I would feel the cold sting of a sterling blade dyed green. And though I thought that this wound would just heal, the blood channel drew out every stream. She then offered me little help so that she could remember my password, despite that I could never help myself, trying to move myself further forward with the stress of her denying me friends. The unjust will always meet unswift ends. Look, I am sorry, but my happiness was drained with flick of the flame. With dirty looks, please provide me understanding. What is truly key? I'll digress, and then I'll apologize. Absence is the wind that kills a candle but feeds a flame. I'm sorry for all lies. All of your hatred I cannot handle. I'm sorry for all misunderstandings. I am sorry for a new beginning. And Marcus, I'm sorry for his bad timing. I now wish that I had lent you my hand and removed you from the kindling truck, so that this poem could have been shorter, and my feelings wouldn't be so fucked up. Would I have still felt bad were you older, or else is it because I missed your dirge? I suppose all your hatred I deserve. Due to these feelings and everyone's glances, I remain away. There's no other way to talk about anything. It's far too futile. Fuck you, all of you. My feelings of rage, fueled by the envy that you wring from me, and another curse and another cause to write one more page. Please, indulge yourselves, but set me free. These days, I feel as though hiding myself is the world's most efficient glass cleaner. I feel like the greatest thing for my health is to break the world's bones at my leisure. The one relief I have at the moment is that noose of 1,000 golden strands. This will be my penultimate lament. There could always be more blood on these hands. Never a way to break this dreadful curse, so please allow my arms to be your hearse. I've confessed my sins. Recourse is not permitted, nor is too much help. This wonderful burn leaves me no want to go back. Is this what love is?
Thanks, man. So the people that have just joined us and are continuing to join us, if you would like to read, there's a list right over here. Would you like to read?
I'm not sure, I don't think so.
Okay, maybe around 2 or so. Anybody else like to read? No? Okay. Going on. Coming up next, we've got Steven. Everybody give it to Steven. Yay!
How are you?
Steven!
Steven.
Alright, this is called Love is Like the River. Constantly changing, ever a-flowing and going. A thrill to swim in and be cleansed by like the wind. It's the currency of creation. First bubbling and bubbling, then rushing and flooding, then trickling and tickling, then floating and foaming, and releasing and freeing. Love is like the river. Loud and silencing, quiet and sincere. Love is like the river. A playground for friends and a fountain for friendships. It's a constant connection, swirling and dancing with all reflections. Love is like the river. Giving life, taking. Filled with memories, filled with space for joyous memories. Love is like the river. Rising and falling. It leads by being lower. So inspiring and endearing, meditative and captivating. Always actively giving and passively receiving. Love is like the river. Enchanting and enhancing our laughter, caressing and sharing our sadness. Forgiving and carrying our forgiveness. Love is like the river. It lets go, it stays, it surrenders. People cherish it, people trash it, but always it is sacred. Created before us, created for us, to teach us how to be. Love is like the river. Summoned from the heart of the earth to bring us to that vast ocean of heaven. Resurfacing, resurfacing.
All right, thank you, Steven. Yeah, I was gonna wait to see more people say it. Okay, yeah, you know what? That's the one main thing I miss about San Marcos is the river. It is so awesome. So coming up next, who do we have? I should probably know that.
You should.
Yep, I should.
It's on the list.
Coming up next, we got Trevor.
Go Trevor!
Give it up for Trevor! Yay!
Hello. So I'm a little nervous.
This is your second time here, right?
Second time ever.
Second time.
Outspoken or extroverted as my daughter Kayla. All right, this one's called Look After Them. A single shot fired hits and rips through my flesh. The taste of blood and thoughts of death now are fresh. Blood-filled lungs gasp for air but can't compete. I'm not ready to leave this life so incomplete. Lying here bleeding on the cold earthen ground, envisioning a life soon to be lost and never to be found. Thoughts of my wife and kids pass through my mind, but my time's been lost to a clock I can't unwind. Will I get to hold them or kiss them once more? Was my life worth this God-forsaken shore? It seems I've been wasted on them, one man's thoughts of idealism. Or was it for another man's views of religious monotheism? Either way, it wasn't my choice for my last day. And my friends and family are left having to pay. Bleeding out onto this firm, unforgiven, night-cooled sand. I feel my life being consumed by this unrelenting land. The field medic by my side does everything that he can, but minutes later he's left holding the hand of another lost man. Please remember me for the sacrifice I made. Visit where I rest, where my body's been laid. Honor the memory of another soldier lost. defending your freedom at any and all costs. As you continue your day-to-day mundane life, do one thing for me, look after my kids and my wife.
Awesome. Thank you. And you know, I gotta say, as a new dad of a daughter, I love the fact that you come here with your daughter. I think that is so awesome. I would like to do that in the future. But you know, I mean, I already brought her to one when she was like a month old.
Yeah.
She was there. Yeah, man, the poem, she killed it. She slayed it. Yeah, people don't remember that, but I do.
Yep.
All right, we got about like 5 more people here, and then at the end, what we're gonna do for the end of round 1, all of you beautiful, awesome, amazing people are gonna come up to the front. We're gonna take a big old group photo, put it on the Facebook page. Everybody's gonna be jealous because they're like, oh my God, look how awesome and heavy they are. Why am I not that?
Could have been here. Could have been here.
So, with that being said, coming up next, we got Wayne. We got Wayne! Yay!
Go Wayne! Alright, so today I dressed in all black because I knew that Spirit Thom would be in all white.
Exactly.
And for every yin, you have to have a yang.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
Well, yes and no.
Okay, so this is not actually anything that I have written. This was something from a...
Yeah.
Oh, you already gave me one of these.
Yeah, well, try this one.
No, you already gave me 2 of these.
Right.
You give me everything that you
You're welcome.
Thom just haggling and giving stuff away. All right, everybody, we've got about 4 poets left, and that's going to be the end of round 1. 4. He's one of the 4. Okay.
Yeah.
We're there. So coming up next, we got Ben Franklin, everybody. Give it up for Ben Franklin! The one and only.
It's great to be back here in San Marcos. I love the atmosphere of this town, and its people, the talent and the voices. You should all be proud of yourselves. And one of the things when I come back to Austin was that I wanted to make sure I got down to San Marcos. I hadn't been down there for a while. And that's because you guys created such a spark inside me that I want to write poetry.
Glad to have you.
Don't make me cry now.
Now, if you take the first 3 words and just take the first letter of each one, you'll get the gist of the, poem. Create rippling American poetry, vowel movement. When poetry is like a diarrhea vowel movement, and you have to go right, to let loose some chunks, verse, stanzas onto ink-stained sheets in poetic relief. It is not this natural function to cope with life's ingestion with poetry's gestation. That when the mind becomes constipated with other frustration, that builds and builds inside closed, censured mind, there is a breaking point where you have to go. That one must then move those to-be fingers onto consonant vowel characters running down furrowed thought, rippling the written word's liberation. No human being deserves to be censured in their own dwelling domains. That there is no right to work legislation that overrides our vowel movements within our own personal time and our working home sweet homes. There is no conglomerate corporation that can censure employees' homes, liberty, and freedom. By issuing edicts to cease and desist their free speech writing, that to censure poetry 24/7, they have to use Putin power to override to the create rippling American poetry right. Do you think that corporations are these plantation masters who employees are 24 shackled slaves that can right to work be denied poetry and free speech on their own personal time? When inspiration comes to us, We must create rippling American poetry or crap. Vocal movement artistry with this flowing, independent, instant relief. We're in a veteran who served, they earned the right to crap. And one own time and not to be terminated for crap in America. Look at this image. Does it deserve the right to be a veteran? The right to be an American? The right to be accorded Ben Franklin's freedom and liberty? That icon will write words in strength using the elocution that strikes the heartmaster string beats of God bless America. I have to crap. How can corporation force someone to quit crap? How did one wither into a Ben Franklin full of crap? Is not the red, white, and blue star-spangled banner crap? What would you do if one said you could not crap? I think I'd get constipated. The American dream is a dead poet society of censored crap. The right to work, we the corporation do censure crap. Oh crap, I feel so blue being terminated for crap. And that is a true story. I got terminated for poetry. And to this day, I'm fighting that I think my own home, I should be allowed to write my own verse. And they, for some reason, when some companies hire you, you become a slave. And your own home is now. I'm a veteran. I earned the right to write crap. Thank you.
All right, we got 4 poets left, and then that's going to be the end of round 1. So coming up next, I'm just go ahead and bring Debangana up. Everybody give it over to Debangana! Yay!
We are doing it together.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Debangana and Scott! Yay!
Sorry, I can't find it. Can I look?
Shall I read?
Let's do it.
Yeah, you can do it.
I misplaced my paper. Sorry, I never getting tossed around. You know. What the hell? You can keep up with them. So let's get sort of the RCA thing going. Something like that. Let's go right there.
So this time we thought that we are collaborating for last 3-4 months.
Yeah, but
This time I'm going to read most of his poem and he's going to read my poem.
I didn't think you were going to tell me.
Okay, the title is Drink Until Our Thirsts Are Quenched. I love the moon, but I cannot hold it. I love the river flowing through us, but the best that I can do is cup my hands, draw its water to my lips, and drink deeply of it. Is not that a doorway? Is that not a doorway to knowledge of self?
Last night, the river bore contentment's image. My tender lips dispersed the glowing light. My lips are still wet, still thirst inside. Restless eyes watch the sky now, awaiting fulfillment.
Overwhelming the bright, colorful lights, an image of 2 shadows embracing. Overwhelming the noise of the fireworks, 2 intimate breathings. A flower encompassing the sky, celebration of freedom. A seed inside me, silently celebrating union.
Don't leave. Please sit a while. We have only this little time. an invisible embrace encompassing each particle of air. I am collecting each grain in my 2 fists, accumulating love. Seeing you go, I can't even say, don't leave. I have no breath to make a sound. I fear I may lose what I have saved of you, washed away in a flood one day. Please don't go. We have only this little time.
You are a doorway through which I step into a world where all is shadow and light. I hear your words, think your thoughts, feel the essence that is you. No lungs, nor lips, nor hips, yet as well all of them conjoining into a feeling of bliss, flowering out of us.
I tarry at the doorway, lest detachment's long shadow seem the glow of intimacy. My feet hold back at some threshold, fearing unknown wound casting its web. I stand at the doorway all night, cannot return even, lest some nameless hurt overwhelm love.
Let's find peace another way today. I breathe deep, head on your chest. Crickets chirping seeps over darkness. Dripping leaf-soaked water on my cheek. From my cheek spilling between your fingers. My finger on your lips. Don't say, I hear already.
Together, we are a moment. Merely a shell out of which the sea pours.
It's really great. I love it when y'all do that. Did y'all say y'all read each other's verse this time? You know what I really noticed too? Like when we're reading poetry, a lot of it is to do with, it's almost just as much the poet's actual voice, the physical voice and stuff. Because a lot of that stuff sounded like your own stuff.
Yeah.
Like you were reading. So that was really cool. Thanks. Hey, Jack, are you gonna, what, you know what? Yeah, okay, we're gonna have like, four more poets? Alright, I'm gonna do like a cutoff after that. Jack is gonna be the last one, I promise. I'm gonna put my foot down. Alright, so coming up next, we've got Mark. Everybody, get over Mark! Yay!
Hi, Mark.
Mark. All right. I wrote this one today. First poem I've written in quite a while.
New shit?
Yeah.
Very new shit.
I've got a theme, as most of you know, so the title shouldn't be strange. It's called These Spiritual Flows. I got these flows, you know? These beats inside that unseat deeply held beliefs. They cycle around in my mind, finding a space beyond time to query the meta-narrational ideals representative of close encounters of the spiritual kind. So I conduct these drills, you know, diving deep into still waters to find the current rushing below. Again, I got that flow, you know? But how best to express it in a way that doesn't dress it in pretentious bullshit that shuts down understanding, that feels like someone prancing in ideological fields, flowering philosophies divorced from iconographies of force, pounding people into coarse miasmas of etheric plasma, divorced from the real, the material ordeal that binds hearts and minds in time and space to a place of essential grace. But that might be way too abstract. Not enough facts, revealing a lack of grounding in the necessity of communicating with tact. Words stack, one upon the next, phrases coalescing in stages, building meaning, streaming intention through gleaming shards of light, information blasting edifices built upon light. The detritus of institutions not quite visible as such, appearing instead as solutions to problems long sought. Build here, not there, upon this rock. I've got the flow, I know. More bullshit, more words designed to placate the herd, to create hypnotic illusions of complacency in lieu of a fundamental alignment to conceptions of decency. Perception creates more opportunity for deception. Misalignment with truth, logically bound arguments that demand external proof when the real answer is under your own roof. That's a metaphor for your head. Where your attention should be instead of out among the walking dead, shambling zombies sporting Abercrombie and Fitch, complacent in their privilege, thinking their life plan is coming off without a hitch. Ain't that a bitch? Ask a witch or a Wiccan to be politically correct if language use is more important than context. If understanding is gained by using words laced with pain, does it hit deeper? Does it follow the flow? Awaken the sleeper from the dream, elicit anger and indignant steam? Are some conversations best held in the highest tones, strident accusations embracing convictions held to the bone? Call and response rhythms, bracing emotional blows that shake bodies to the core, while the demands of belief ask for more, and still and yet more. What still is in store? What is coming next? Can you see it? Can you feel it? Like a storm gathering upon the horizon, rent by lightning and thunder, still faint in the distance, as the sharks and squids plunder the depth of our collective despair. You can smell the ozone in the air. Feel the electricity tingling in your hair as it stands on end. That is the thing. You can't pretend. Angels with broken wings still feel the sting of God's abandonment. The loss of that flow. That timeless coursing of love that comes from both above and below. That sense of being a part of something integral and infinite, internal and both maternal and paternal simultaneously. The yin and yang dichotomy of opposition, where polarities unite, and you realize that the fight itself is the illusion. The contusions mere bruise to ego and unfounded fear. Silence is birthed in the place of an ever-present wall of sound and fury. The storm arrives with lurid intensity, and raindrops begin to fall, tasting of sorrowful waste, tracing paths of contentment down my face. My heartbeat stretches into eternity, spiking reverberations looming imponderable and tall. From those dizzying heights, I then fall. Beyond all calls to internalize the need for redemption and false guilt, pretension fails. Internal dissension is quelled, and I sail outwards into skies of light and into the flow. You know?
Always a pleasure, Mark. Just told everybody there was a cutoff, man. You're gonna be in round 2. I'm sorry. Yes. All right. Good. Cause yeah. All right. So coming up next, we've got list. Yeah, list. Come on. I just pointed to you.
Yeah, you pointed to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Way too much. Yeah, come over here. Yeah. You know who he is.
All right, so I wrote this in class today. It's much more fun to write and like pay attention to history and like how we screwed over Native Americans. So, it's Bob Marley's been in my mind a lot lately because of how beautiful everything is around. So, here he goes. All right. So, man said he wants to go. Man said he wants to come. No matter what the man says, he will never get enough. Man says he wants it all. Man says he'll never fall. No matter what the man says, man will never get enough. Man says he wants some more. Man says he's never poor. No matter what the man says, he will never find the door. But if he look within himself and try to find the source, man will learn to love and peace, and the earth will be restored.
That was a Yaya bringing a little bit of Marley. Channeling the spirit.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, we got 2 more left, and then that is the end of round 1, everybody. So coming up next, we got George. Everybody give her George. Yay!
casually, comfortably ask, how are you doing? And the weight of the lie to say I'm okay has your conscience considering there's nuclear weapons. There's deep underground military bases so they can hide when they go off. Isn't that sad? And here we are, surface dwellers, buying truck-ripened produce from each other. Like, they don't have it better? And it frustrates me to hear when people say all religions are the same. Like, the Native Americans, Mesoamerica, didn't they sacrifice babies to their handmade idols of stone? And then the so-called Christians came and passed diseases along their trade routes before they even saw them in person, where they died too. Those two religions are exactly the same? Like we're just all one big blob of consciousness with no unique identity or culture or language? Trembling, moist hands, finite, of all things we could be, places, here, now. What? Tell me time is an illusion? In the graveyard, where the babies are being born. Tell me all about time is an illusion.
Yeah.
I'm not okay. Don't believe me if I tell you I'm okay when you ask me, because I'm just lying to you, because I just don't want to confront how awful I feel, and how I feel like, right? I've been told my whole life, like, you can do something with your life. You can change. Like what? I can stop the warmongers, the oil war profiteers that I use. Right? We have a symbiotic relationship, but one that's depleting our resources faster than they can. Like what? How long does it take to get the minerals that make the microchips that make our convenience? FaceTime. FaceTime. Wow. Off the top of my head, that's my 7th chakra, right? Crown chakra. But they also have energy weapons, right? So like, you hear the AM radio talking about Iran and nuclear weapons. Yeah. They can just pop those things right in the sky. Like they popped them when our parents were kids and they had to hide under the desk. What it's like to not know what to do with this fear.
Nobody comes even close to what you do. All right, and our final poet for round 1 is Jack. Everybody give it over to Jack. Yay! And there's a picture after round 1. Okay.
There's a picture after round 1. Management has told me to tell people.
Good job.
Raging Bull. This is called The Office. I'm Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
What's up, Jack?
The office has gotten colder since Boss Man turned off the heat. Mr. Boss Man, I'm going blind, and now I can't feel my feet. The blindness comes from the coal mine, the same place that taught me to see. My father taught me to bleed, but the boss man took me in, and his wife taught me to read. All my days off I spend just getting high with the loneliest woman that I can find. I'll go deaf from her death, I can't smell from her smile. She laughs when I can't identify all the colors right before my eye. Oh, Mr. Bossman, I really tried not to fall down this mine. She said I reminded her of water, and I've been thirsty for some time. And I don't need these damned eyes, or any heat to survive. What I really need, you won't provide. She is cold as this mine and nearly as wide. I'll go deaf from her death. I can't smell from her smile.
All right, everybody. So if you could be super awesome, all of y'all, as much as we can, just go for that. Was a lot louder than I intended. All right, everybody. This is round 2 of San Marcos Motor Night. Yay! You people are super awesome. Just to let you know, if you read in round 1, I'm going to assume that you're going to read in round 2, and I'm calling your name. So if you're not going to read, well then just be like, it'll be that. So, we're going to start right off with Thom and Jack. Everybody give her Thom and Jack!
Why I need you. Well, I started off conflicted because when I was young I used to go to the circus, and I loved the circus because it was alive and well. And all these people would come through town. It was a small little town I grew up in. Like every small town we grow up in, we grow outside the town, then we have to have a larger town. We have to have a bigger circus. And there is no safety net anymore, but suddenly I get conflicted. Because the animals are, of course, in captivity. They are caged, they are censored, they are edited. And everywhere you go, people say, you can't say that, you can't say that. And I look at the cages, and outside the cages are the wild birds. And the wild birds with wild wings are larger than the ones that are public servants. Now I know there's security. When you do what's been done before and follow a habit anaconatum and familiarity, of course, will keep us soft inside a soft cell, and we shall be prisoners forever. And that's secure. But somewhere down San Marcos there's a small little cell of people who say the impossible is what we have to tell. When the temple of Baal starts falling to ISIS, I begin to lose what I have not ever seen. And what I have not seen is the dream that is yet to be born. It's being born inside this room tonight, which is somewhat like a sauna. It's sort of like the sweat and perspiration of people thinking, well, I don't agree with that, but it's important to actually entertain the notion that we have divergence and difference of thought. When I put a thing on Facebook, I put the Syrian baby that was dying as a way of asking people to come and bring your opinions to this reading. And I got a response saying that was inappropriate. It's inappropriate to mention the world we're actually living in, because it's not the world we began with. In the Eden, they say, they tell us that the tree brought forth the pomegranate of temptation. Well, like Oscar Wilde, I love temptation. In the world we live in, which is a closed system, all the borders are broken. And all the people that they wage war upon become people like us, refugees who are stolen tongues. The languages and culture of indigenous are historic now, because we talk about them as if those, we romanticize the obvious, and we talk about Henri Rousseau as he paints those beautiful distractions. But we are breathing the same air. And the air in San Marcos doesn't necessarily have the fluoride in the waters of Boston. And the air in San Marcos might just have small little buds and blossoms. It could be a garden or a place where weeds, legal or no, are allowed to grow. And this is not a hypothetical situation. This is why I need you this evening. Think of it like a jigsaw piece. The full picture is only revealed when all the pieces come together. And step by step, word by word, idea by idea, we're starting to listen to each other.
All right, thank you, Thom and Magic Jack. And coming up next, we've got Magic Jack. Everybody give her Magic Jack!
How did that happen? Okay, so I tried a little experiment tonight. I was listening very closely to what everyone was reciting and reading up here. And I tried to make something out of that.
Whoa.
So, You might recognize some of your stuff coming through here. Especially the crap part. There's a lot of crap tonight.
Hey, hey now.
No, I mean, they were using the word crap in feces and things like that. Bowel movements. There was a lot of that. It's been a bad week for a lot of people, I guess. I think we need to get more regular, folks. Anyway, let's start this one. It's just me trying to be funny. Angry expectations parents made, forcing those peanut butter sandwiches with too much jelly. Love is like a river, rising, flowing. Hellfire or sunshine, are they not choices? Bloody and on the ground, I wonder and I long for my family. I'm cloudy with doubt. Look after my family. Honor my sacrifice. Why do boys proclaim love and then abuse women? Against lockers. Hardness of heart is not manhood. The dominatrix responds with high heel and retribution. Mostly, if you ask for it and say please. Poetry as a bowel movement. Maybe it's a long sitting. Maybe it's a 3-flusher day. Trying here. Free speech shall not be censured. Corporations, plantation masters, veterans have earned the right to crap.
Yes.
To have liberty to crap. To have the right to crap, he said. Terminated for poetry? What the F? Injustice. Vets can write crap if they choose. Drink deeply of water, of self-renewal. To sit a while, I plead, but not too long because I need to pee. Time is short for us. You are a doorway to my heart. And feelings of bliss. Hesitant because of heavy baggage from past journeys, my finger is to your lips. Don't worry. Dive deep into deep spiritual rivers. I got the flow. Too much bullshit, deception, proof. Too much crap. I sail into the flow, you know. Man says, find the source. The earth will be restored. How are you doing? Weapons are hidden underground. Are religions all the same? Time and illusion? Babies in graves? They have the bombs. Our parents hid under desks. I live in fear. I get high with lonely women. The boss man, I tell him I tried, but what I need, you can't provide. Thank you.
That was good.
Thank you.
All right, that was I think a very successful experiment.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good. That's cool. All right, so coming up next, and I really don't like introducing this guy. Oh, man. All right, wait, I'll just get it over with. It's this guy, it's me.
Yeah! Oh,
I got you.
You got me again.
Yeah.
You get me every time.
I know. I'm a rascal. All right, so I've kind of been struggling lately to write new stuff. Kind of having a little 9-month-old kind of puts a damper in that. So I'm kind of digging through a lot of my old stuff. Some of you people, when I was going to Austin a lot, have heard this one. Most of you all have not. This is called So I Found Waldo.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
One night I was traipsing my way home from the bar, and there, down an alley, crumpled against a wall, was a figure that wouldn't normally cause me to pause, except that I noticed this familiar red and white striped sweater. Carefully, I plodded down the alley and roused the bum, to which he snorted and grunted for me to go away. But when I caught a glimpse of his thick, black glasses, I knew I'd found the man I spent a childhood searching for. Oh, wow. You're Waldo. Oh my God, I found Waldo. Then hard as a hammer, he struck at me and hissed, "You fool, leave me be. I am no one special. Oh, I have nothing that no one has missed." But you're Waldo. And I found you. All my life, everyone's been looking for you, and I'm the one that finally found you. Yes, I am Waldo. And yes, you have found me. But whoever said I wanted to be found is a fraud. You see, I became lost for a reason. Now leave me be before I make people start wondering where you've gone. But you're Waldo. And I found you. I repeated, and left feeling defeated, feeling thoroughly rejected. Fuck Waldo. Coming up next, we got Louise. Everybody in our Louise. Yay!
I always thought Waldo was somewhere with Carmen Sandiego.
They had a falling out.
Yes, I had a similar experience. When was it? February? When Harold Ramis died. I was driving along and I saw the Ghostbusters cross the street in front of me.
Whoa.
It turned out to be 3 guys with leaf blowers, but for a second there, I thought it was the Ghostbusters.
Honest mistake.
That's a poem right there.
That's a poem I should write.
Yeah, you should.
The race. The human race is an old term. Turns out to be the science now. We are more alike than different. Difference is literally only skin deep. Notions of race almost destroyed us. Some thought they were better than because they were lighter than, richer. They could force labor and obedience and rule over others for fun and profit. Took a war and a century to tear it all down, and still some hearken back to good old days their ancestors never actually had themselves. When others were slaves, they were serfs, and to the same self-appointed aristocrats. Poor whites of old didn't care for slavery, didn't think about it one way or the other until post-bellum Southern politicians used race for their own selfish purposes. Humans do have a concept of the other. It's hardwired in us to distrust difference. At the same time, though, we are able to override our innate programming because the other is what we define. The ancients weren't especially racist. Egyptians didn't call Hittites honkies. The Romans took Greek and Nubian slaves. Solomon did not shun the Dark Queen of Sheba. They all have prejudice, but not for color. Science knows we are not subspecies. We are more alike than breeds of dogs. There is a spectrum of traits out of Africa through Europe, Asia, Australia, America. Races may not actually exist for humans, just spikes of phenotypes along the line. Africa holds the most variation of us all, being the homeland of the human race. Evolution is still working there as always. The rest of us are younger and differ less, though we may think ourselves hot stuff with eyes of blue or green or hazel or violet. We may be blonde, at least in our infancy, like Scandinavians or indigenous Australians. We may boast strong, high-altitude Inca lungs or protect our sight with cool epicanthic folds. But just under the skin, we are Africans all. Wagner and Hitler touted a superior Aryan race, who were bolder, smarter, and blonder than thou. But the Aryans weren't Nordic, they were Indian, bolder and smarter than Nazis, and darker of skin. Yes. The good news today is that racism is a bad thing. In my lifetime, it wasn't even an issue of concern. It was just business as usual, the way things were. The bad news is that the term is misused ad nauseum for anything touching on prejudice or disaffection. It is not racist if you don't like my favorite pop star. It is not racist if you don't like my favorite TV show. Technically, hating someone of a different culture is not racist if they are a member of your same race. An Anglo bigot though he may be, is not a racist for hating Arabs or Indians or Italians or Croatians. He's just as wrong and just as much an idiot though. It's hard to put race behind us, for me as well. We have had it drummed in our dear little ears since birth. The old way was to stick with your own kind. Purity has been beloved of Nazi and Tea Party alike. But think of the inbreeding purity begats. No, diversity means genetic health and high intelligence. And we could certainly use a lot more of that sort of thing.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Louise. And coming up next, we've got Robyn. Everybody give it up for Robyn! Yay!
I've got a couple of really short poems also. Baby cat Ashira sleeps like a furry amoeba in my lap. Then blob cat doesn't divide, but merges in ever-changing forms with herself, supple as a single cell. Okay. And I'm having one of those days when everything isn't enough. My cats are edginess personified, more claw and tooth than fur, and it's been the perfect afternoon. Why does happiness not quite do it? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, to any people that have just joined us, if you want to read, just sign up, let me know, and I'll pass the sign-up sheet.
My name, I put it on the back.
Robert? Yeah. Yes, you're on. All right, so coming up next, we've got PW. Everybody give it our PW! Yay!
Excuse me, I'm not trying to be dramatic, really. And if you believe that shit.
Do you have a bridge to sell me?
You. Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Again. Some of you heard this before. I wrote it a while back down the Rio Grande Valley. I'll be back down there with a series of themes from the 14th and the 19th. But this poem bounces around Texas. It's called Hemlock. This is my brand new book. Put out by SOOO Press. Chuck Taylor edited it.
Yeah, he's all right.
This evening, I'm ordering hemlock over ice in a rocks glass from the bar at the hotel. I compromise with the barman. Agave will do. Poisoning myself with South Texas, with denial, with faith and flags and family. I am poisoning myself with poetry. Poisoning myself with the cheap highway stuff, 87 octane. Poisoning myself with the company of women that I will never fuck. I'm not even sure what mirrors are for anymore. Poisoning myself with vanity, sweets, sweet pride in mid-spring swelter. This is not New England. Poisoning myself on promises made decades ago on other continents. I am poisoning myself with the patience of a snake tail rattling, poisoning myself with cheap countertop condiments, with vending machine ice at the Echo Hotel. I am poisoning myself with walls and rifles and checkpoints, surveillance blimps tethered with long white cords. I am poisoning myself like a peacock, shooting the Rio Grande River into rolling shy veins, a bump of smack backstage, and then on with the show. Tonight, I am feeling familiar, forgotten, untrusted. I'm poisoning myself with embossed credit cards, transfixed by my name pressed on plastic, poisoning myself on the streets of Austin, somewhere south of the river and north of Ben White. I am poisoning myself on Craigslist, sucking cocks in a Zilker Park men's room. I am poisoning myself looking for Venus through Army surplus binoculars in an era of don't ask, don't tell, don't share, I don't know. I am poisoning myself with muddy Houston steam and in smoky back rooms of Dallas, poisoning myself with passions and dreams, lessons and schemes, with poems written on napkins like plea bargains. Trees shed leaves and serpents, slew skin. It's in places like this I poison myself, kill off what does not belong. Gun stores and tequila offend me, but I will drink with you all night long. Thank you. My name is PW Covington. Follow me in the Twitter sphere, BTW. What's next?
All right, thank you, PW. But also, your book's on sale, right? Amazon?
Oh, all over the place.
Yeah, check them out. So coming up next, we've got Scott. Everyone give it up, Scott. Great Scott! Yay!
I wonder. Nah, scratch that. I don't wonder. Last night, I sat at the foot of my couch, and my best friend turned to me and said, "Teach me everything you know about Linux." And in a flash of insight, I realized, were I to do so, he would no longer exist. Period. So I joked with him and said, Grasshopper, I clear off small part of windows so you see bit of picture, but you're not ready to see whole picture. And it makes me think, it has made me think over the last 18 or 12 hours or so. That is a very good analogy for when you fall through love with someone. We see that person or that thing as enormously, it's what would appear to be infinitely beautiful. But the reality is, it's a mere glimpse of something that were we to see the painting in its entirety, we would be swept and blown away, to be blunt. Fucking dust. And I, too, am not one to wonder about those. I question the existence of those people who would do harm to others, and lose sight of the fact that every human individual has that glimmer, that essence of the eternal true beauty within them. I am not so stupid or so optimistic or close-minded in my naivety to think that there are not those who do not do such a thing. Yet, does not the butterfly also have its cicada? Have its cocoon? Does not the cicada also have its shell? Those who would destroy our world and hurt other people and neglect the environment, their brothers, their other countries on this planet, cast them aside and give them no mind. Work toward them seeing the right thing, but they are but a shell as far as I can tell. There's a part of me in this room that knows there really is in fact no other place behind me. And yet I will sit on my back porch sometimes smoking cigarettes like there's no tomorrow and think, man, it'd be really cool if I had more followers. And it strikes me really deeply that all I really fucking have to do is turn my shoulder over my head and they're all the followers I need. Your universe follows you everywhere. Everywhere. Yet, we are, in fact, nothing more than the apex of it. It makes me want to take my arms off and throw them away, and my legs, and my chest, and my skeleton, and just toss it all aside. It'd be nothing more than that sound that exists in this room when poets laugh and cry and sing and shout and do their song. And he's commented before, it's all about this optimism thing. Man, in a room like this, the light is everywhere. It's everywhere. And I'm blind to anything but that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, go.
Alright, coming up next, we've got Debangana.
Debangana.
Everyone get over Debangana! Yay!
I'm gonna go online. Oh, it's her turn. Oh.
So I wrote this poem when I was in Baton Rouge. My art studio was near the Mississippi River. And I thought one day the river will come to my studio. Once in the river breeze. Cast river breeze at least once into my painting room. I have spread this yearning across many evenings, gently prying open the window pane. The last time I shared bright yellow papers, drew leaves, flowers to adhere on the window glass. I lit a beacon streaming behind that pane. All the loud tunes the radio had to offer, I played them all in my painting room. Fit spell can be cast on my deep river's breeze. Dust scattered through the open window glass, stray branches of oak insatiably intrude. Scraps of yellow papers shed their glues, style the room. I struggle to paint in the dimness behind my beacon. Blaring tunes filled my painting room. Cast river breeze at least once into my painting room. I have sprayed this yearning across many evenings. One day I dabbed my hand with pigment the hue of blood to perfectly print my palm on the pane. The red streams dripped and dripped, and steady trails scribbled under handprint. That was my last effort. Fleet spell can be cast on my deep river's breeze. Many days ago I left my painting room. Storm and rain I have heard ruptured through the pane. Oh, the room must have drowned in river breeze. I bought some of the painting with me. Aesthetic, when I behold them. The river breeze burst through all the colors, all spectrum. The river breeze inflates each and every line, each and every poem. Is the river breeze still casting in my painting room?
All right, thank you. So all right, so coming up next we got Ryan James. Everybody give up Ryan James! Yay!
Nicholas.
Good man, thank you.
How you guys doing?
Good. Hey,
So this is a poem about grammar. A lot of people know the first line, but I felt like it didn't finish, so I went ahead and finished it. I before E, except after C, or when sounding like A, as in neighbor or way, and be careful of J, because a J is an I with an extra long tail going back to the high Middle Ages, you see, but it sounds like a G with an E. Well, except for when that's pronounced G. And that J is like G is ironic to me, because recently I know J used to be more like H, but then that was back when H was like I, which it's not anymore, except for in some proper nouns. So, in Jerry, for instance, the I would come first, before E. And by I mean J, except when it's a G, because Jerry goes back to the Hebrew, you see, only through the Latin and printed in German because of the Gutenberg press, you'll remember, which didn't have all of the letters that we might have otherwise used. So if lexicographic precision you seek, you'll consider the origin. Latin, or Greek, or Arabic, Celtic, Italian, Dutch, Norman, or Hebrew/Yiddish, Old French, and Old German. Or Old Scandinavian, some would say Norse, and then there's the Persian and Spanish, of course, and don't forget modern origin. Those are the worst when you try to make sense of which letter comes first. But it's simple, you see. You just take it from me that it's I before E, except when it's not. And you'll find that a lot. Then it's E before I, and I don't know why, but you just have to try and don't be that guy about English grammatical rules. It's an imprecise language, and this is an errand for fools, or a way to keep busy the children in schools, and keep them from bugging the teacher.
I just have to say hell yeah. Because I can't tell you how much when I'm like, you know what I said. You know what I mean. Don't be all getting grammatical. Don't be getting all grammatical. You know what I mean. Alright, see, it's imprecise. That guy's pumped. He's got it. Everybody listen to him. So coming up next, we got Sadie. Everybody, get over Sadie! Yay!
You will wear makeup for the first time since middle school, but with a little more class and confidence because you just want to feel pretty again. Know this. Pretty is just the surface. What you really want is to feel beautiful, and you feel like you can't be. It's unreachable unless that someone who takes your breath away with their smile tells you about how your smile takes their breath away too. I told you that you could call me anytime you feel like you've lost touch with the wishful butterfly wings in your heartbeat, and I will stay up till 3 a.m. reading you Andrea Gibson and Maya Angelou till you feel something again. That wasn't a lie. But I think I'm your lifeline now, and I'm not sure when I became that or for how much longer I can stay that before I need a lifeline of my own. How do you shamelessly catch hold of a hook when you thought you've been the fisherman your whole life, and you're just beginning to realize you've been a goldfish all along? I feel trapped in a tank full of clear water. Tell me, can you see through me, or is my mask making it easier for you to trust me? I want to be called beautiful too. Maybe we can wear the makeup together tonight, though I swear your soul is already the most beautiful thing I've ever laid eyes on. But I'm not the person you wanted to hear that from, am I?
those kind of poems. Very end, you're like, yeah. All right, coming up next, we've got Kayla. Everybody give it up for Kayla. Yay!
This is my new poem. I am the antagonist in my own film. They call me queen, but they don't know what that truly means. I am the queen of downfall and dismay. I can make your funeral look like an 8-year-old girl's dream wedding that they've been planning for years. It's a funeral your worst enemies would be dying to attend.
I saw what you did there.
I am a queen waiting to be heard. This stage is the only place where I can express my emotions without feeling judgment or dismissal.
Right.
Maybe if I put a beautiful analogy on my deep demented plot, they'll stay to watch the film.
Yep.
But they will complain, like all mortal peasants do, and I am on too many diets to sugarcoat anything. So sit back, take a drink, shut up, and enjoy the show.
Okay.
Hold on. Sorry, I forgot for a second.
More.
Yeah, brand new. They say silence is the loudest scream, so why don't you hear me screaming? I'm sitting on the leather couch in a fetal position with the cinnamony scent of banana bread, crisping in the kitchen, spinning through the air, just begging me to cheer up. But Adam's song is playing on repeat through my headphone speakers, and it overpowers the scent of comfort. 16 just held such better days, days when I could still feel alive. The sharp lyrics dance across my skin. I wish something else would dance across my skin with the same sensation. I stay silent, so why don't you hear me screaming? It's the middle of the night, and I wake up in a pool of sweat and drool to my mother telling me it was just a dream. They say that dreams come true, but they forgot to mention that my nightmares are dreams too. I kept screaming. I was literally screaming. Why can't you hear me yet? I listen to poetry for hours about the things I wish I could tell anyone who cares about me, wish that it'll make me feel human again, wish that I can give them some type of warning about my social destruction transformation, warning like one of those infomercials during the commercial breaks that no one actually listens to. My mind, I stay up later than the moon with my mind transforming like a werewolf into this gruesome beast that rips apart my mind and the soul of anyone around me. I keep screaming, howling to the moon to save me, so can you hear me yet? I am a queen. I am a queen waiting to be heard. Sorry, I forgot the poem. Sorry, I'm really nervous. I'm not done yet.
That's really great.
No, this is encouragement.
Awesome.
As you can tell, I'm shaking off of, I can barely read.
You are all good.
You're really good.
I thought that was part of the show.
When I scream, you're supposed to come to my rescue. But sometimes I don't scream. Sometimes I ask politely. Ask if I can get some magic beans and they'll perhaps grow a giant beanstalk to help me discover who I am being versus who I want to be. Sorry.
That's okay.
I repetitively ask if I can take a test. Can I take a test? Can I take a test? Can I take a test to score how normal my emotions are? I'm scared to get the results that will tell me I am average. Being ordinary means that my pain will continue and has a chance to manifest. But the little hope and wish is that maybe if I'm not normal, maybe there's a cure to my madness, but we're all mad here, right?
Yeah.
Wait, the story isn't over. I am the queen. I get a fairy tale ending, a happily ever after, right?
Right. Yeah.
Wrong.
No.
I lock the doors to my tower and hire a dragon to keep guard. Destroy anyone who tries to save me before I destroy them first is what I command of my scaly little friend. Do not let them look at my Medusa smile. Do not let them look into my chartreuse eyes and see that I am beautiful. As I wait in my tower for anyone who's willing to break down the walls and save the prince for me, I realize I'm not the queen. I'm just a damsel tired of her distress.
Oh, yeah. All right. That was excellent. You know, and the fact that you memorize your stuff too, that's incredibly difficult. So mad props to you. Don't ever feel bad about slipping up or anything like that. Yeah, that was great. So coming up next is Link here. I do not think he is. So coming up next is Steven.
Go, Steven!
Everybody give it up for Steven! Wait, is Steven here? Steven? Sticky's not here. I'm so good at this. Coming up next is Trevor!
Yay, Trevor!
That's who I thought that was! Yeah, good over Trevor!
Father of the soul.
Alright, this one's just called Time. So as time goes by, it slowly steals my strength, and I cannot add to it nor increase its length. It stays constant, unrelenting, unchanging, and unyielding. The burden of its weight is the one weapon you'll find it wielding. As the sands of time continue to heap upon my head, there's no rest for the weary, and I'll sleep when I'm dead. You see, time is the enemy, and you must respect it. An invisible killer that may steal your life when you least expect it. It is vigilant and stalks its prey in stealth, slow and steady, capable of dealing death at any moment, whether or not you're ready. We've all been given a very specific and special amount. It is not given by man, and it's not yours to count. Once given, we have free will in how we choose to spend it, but we have no say in when it's over, and time may end it. I suppose you may soon find out what time will tell. I hope you live life without regret, and you lived it well. So where are you now in this life that you've been given? And where are you now in this life that you're living?
Awesome, thank you. Alright, I've been waiting to say this guy's name ever since he went up and changed it. And I don't even see him. Is Wanya Kest? Wanya Kest. Wayne. I'm calling Wayne. Wanya Kest. Yeah, alright. Is he, wait, did you say? Alright, we're gonna go to the next person, and then he's gonna come up, unless I see him, like, flying into the room. Alright, so coming up next, we got Ben Franklin. Everybody give it over to Ben Franklin. Hooray!
This is something I worked on today. It's still in the works. The title right now is called Spiral Spring. Womb bearing the birthright entrance. Life forces evolving the drift time frames. Years revolve around birthday cycles. Growth rain bears hourglass rings. Riding void tattered and torn. Quicksand falling, weathered worn. Centrifuge grain, gravity downspout. Cylinder spinning, whirlpool time slide. Bottom black hole drain, final ending. Clockwise center point, focus beginning. Faces bulge with centrifugal living forces. Tightening circumference in revolving matter. Revolving world spun adrift time. Universe, outer Big Bang, continuum. Universe, shell, inner soul, conception. Skeletal movement, spins till death do part. Onto that final spin, spun silence. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And there he is. All right, give it up for Wanya Kest, everybody.
In that his house. Okay, so I have a really sappy love poem, or I have a song that I wrote. Which would y'all prefer?
Song. Well, you're Wanya Kest. So.
I'm Wanya Kest. I gotta drop them beats. And, yes. Okay. So this is a song that I wrote a little while back. Yeah. Okay. I can't really sing, so I'm not going to sing. So anyway.
Neither can Kanye.
Shall I drop thy mic?
Yeah, sorry.
Mic.
I see what you did there.
Okay. Preacher, oh preacher, wash my dirty feet. My shoes are made of soggy rags, and walking is my dream. Lover, oh lover, spark my inner flame. Immolate me with your touch, and I will do the same. Take me, oh take me. Take me to that higher state, that I can be set free. Leader, oh leader, show my inner power. Point me to the wilderness, and I will find my path. Sinners, oh sinners, make me a stone.
Lay me out on gentle grass and I will soon be home. Dreamer, oh dreamer, watch me fade away. The breeze will fill my southern sails and I'll be led astray.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Yeah, give it up for the real Wanya to Kest. All right, coming in next, we've got Yaya. Everybody give her Yaya.
All right, everybody bear with me on this one. Because I also wrote this one in class.
Yeah, good use of time.
All right, here it is. Check, respect, take a second. Regardless of the steps, matters all kept. Preparatory temperature blur, the slurs, sweat crept and tempt, left, deaf to screams, teams, streams of noise, poise, control, hold down. All right, hold on, here we go. Poise, control, hold down moments, the closeness, show and notice, the scene, life and what it means, it seems so chaotic, robotic, moving cybertronic, all hooked on phonics. Phonetically stretching vibes, using words to test the times, poems and rhymes, crimes of habits, luxurious, spontaneous rabbits, now grab it and take it. Ovens hot from bacon, making mistakes, get naked, flow in a rush, blush to the touch, a crush of some lust, tough enough just to be enough. Keep going, hold on. Stuck, sirens on fire trucks, big bucks, crush your hopes, addicted to the soaps, when most things are distorted, reality reported, but continue use distorted. A mortgage, pay them, pay that, pay you, I forfeit, feeling like torching, raging and scorching. With more than I can handle, battle axe to sandals, handles like candles, give peace. All we need is ease, oh please. North, south, west, and east. Now breathe. Breach the leech, all just for keeps. As we people seep without air. Be honest, be true. Community unified too. Survive, thrive, and do. Compassion, love, and peace.
All right, thank you, Yaya. All right, so we got about 7 poems left, and it'll be the end of round 2. And then we'll take a little break, and it'll be round 3. Woohoo! So coming up next, we have George. Is George? I couldn't tell if he wanted to be on the list or not. I'll keep pushing him down if I see him. All right, so then coming up next we have Jack. Everybody, give it up for Jack! Hey! All right.
I'm no longer feeling inspired.
Honestly, yeah. Can't knock it.
Go Jack. Inspired by Scott, I've stopped writing so much poetry and started performing more poetry.
Yeah.
In the improvised fashion, so it might turn out badly. I haven't done it in a while. But I'm just going to tell you about what's going on. So I bought this ring because I knew I was going to be dumped. And I thought I'd buy something tiny and beautiful that one day I'll lose because it's tiny. It's a pinky ring. You lose that. And I lost it recently. I lost it. I woke up and I had been very drunk the night before. Which is becoming a theme with me. Maybe I have a problem. But I get drunk and then I lose things. And this night, I lost this ring and I woke up and it wasn't there. And I searched all over my room, which is a chaotic mess. It's not a surprise that I couldn't find it. And it was somehow liberating that I didn't have this ring anymore, because now it was like, yes, I was dumped. I was dumped. And yes, I lost the ring, but I knew I was going to lose it when I bought it. I only bought it because she didn't buy me a birthday present, which is kind of what spiraled. No, it's not a big deal.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is.
I didn't want anything.
Yeah, right.
I just wanted to feel special.
Right. And you are.
I like records. She knew that. She knew that. She knew my favorite bands. But it's hard, you know, because like LCD sound system records are very, very, very expensive sometimes. But I lost the ring and it felt free. And my roommate really cares about me. He thinks I'm a little brother. And he was always trying to steal the ring because he knew the story behind it. And he needed me to just not have it anymore. So
I tried to steal it once or twice.
Yeah. I didn't know that. We're just having to talk about that later. But you know, when I finally found it is because my roommate Nasser Khan, you might know his great-great-grandfather. He's famous or something. Genghis. That's his Christian name. But he tried to steal the ring from me several times, and I always, you know, caught him, and I always got it back. And the reason I found the ring is because he made me clean my room.
Finally.
I know.
Finally.
I promised you would clean the room.
No, when I found it. When I found it, I was like, Nasser, look what I found. And he was like, that's my ring that I lost a long time ago. You should give me that ring. I was like, yeah. But now that I have it, I know I'm going to lose it again. But I was walking around without either ring because I lost both rings because I get drunk a lot. And I was walking around with no rings, and you know how that feeling where you have no of that thing that you usually have, like you always wear earrings maybe, and you're just like, my ears are empty. My hand was empty. It was just like, you know that sound?
Now we do.
Wow. Like you're deep throating someone with a small penis, you know. Like you can still articulate. But
I don't even know what that means.
I'm not as good at this as I should be or hope to be. But I guess the lesson, the moral of the story, because every story has a moral, is that you should lose things more so you can find them again.
There you go.
And it'll make you think. It'll make you think.
The quest for the ring.
The quest for the one ring.
1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings.
There were 12. But I guess I need to find my Mordor because this shit makes my hand feel better, but it makes my heart feel worse.
Oh, you need a hug. You need a hug. You need a hug.
Give me a hug.
You need a hug.
I'll take every hug. Every hug.
He's gonna collect them now.
All right.
It's almost like a hug. It just rhymes.
You know, this is what I love about Wake the Dead, Butcher Night. Never in a million years would you have thought that you would have heard deep throating small penis at Poetry Night. But it did. It happened right here at Cedar Creek.
At least we didn't have to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Okay. What's your name? Coming up next, we have Nick. Everybody give it up for Nick.
Did you got your hands full there, Nick? There you go. Finish it, Nick. Go all the way up. There you go.
Drink the juice of
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, it's time. It's time to go away. Item.
Not a man.
Shot.
I think he's out. I think he's faking. He's faking.
Alright.
He's just bacon. What he's about to say.
Bacon or bacon?
It's still Robert. Here we go. Her breath was the stampede of my conquest for the last 21 years. Her slaps were the squeeze of my existence, and now my mind can dip in ease with no worries of danger for another century to come.
Wow.
All right, thank you. I'm so glad that your poem wasn't just you drinking that.
Seriously.
Coming up next, we got Crhis G. Everybody, give it up for Crhis G. Yay!
I've never been to one of these before. So
My first time too, it's okay.
Yeah.
Take it
slow. I'm somewhat nervous. I'm not a writer.
We'll determine that. We'll determine that.
I wrote this at a time when I was questioning why we have to pick, like, you know, in college they make us pick one thing. You have to do one thing with your life. You can only be one thing. You can't be a medical doctor. You can't be a lawyer. You can't be an artist. You can't be a musician. And it really bothered me, so I wrote this little thing. It's literally only 4 sentences. So I hope you like it. It goes like this. I've made home, the sea, surrounded by bodies of definite universes. Never actually arriving, but forever sailing towards one, then another. Changing direction as fear of missing out on experiences of a different island rolls in like a mist. I've been lost at sea, trying to maintain this equilibrium of awe. Fascinated as they orbit around me, yet only able to experience a fraction of their magnificence. Why have they divided these universes so? Thank you.
I think he's a writer, Mark.
I'm not a writer. Get out of here. No, I'm kidding. Come back. Keep coming back. Because you are. All right. Coming up next, we've got.
It works if you work it.
Who's that?
That's the same thing my mom tells me every morning.
She still lives with you?
No, she calls me.
Oh, she
every morning. Honey, it still works if you work it. That she doesn't sound like that at all.
She's your alarm clock?
1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 more left, and this is the end of round 2, everybody. How about that? All right, so coming up next, we got Morgan Day. Everybody give it Morgan Day. Yay!
Okay. This is my second time here. Alright. This one is called Metaphysicality in Union. Parentheses, our bodies miss each other when we don't. Your love is transcendent. Fill me and make me whole. Lover, I pulse in your absence. Lost in daydreams, I feel your breath upon my neck like a phantom limb. Take me to another place every night, a journey. Suspended in space, eyes closed but seeing stars. We are the mountains. We are the oceans. Medieval romantic astronauts, monuments will be constructed in commemoration to us. Anonymously, of course, for what we are cannot be confined to a gilded placard. The bruises on my thighs belong to you, and you belong to me.
Awesome. All right, so we got a handful left, everybody. It's gonna be round 2 over. It's gonna be round 2 over. I'm over, man. All right, so coming up next, we got Yen. Everybody get over Yen. Yay!
Thank you. I deserve that. I'm just kidding. It's been a while. I wanted to read 2 short ones, but people showed me up as to how short I can write. That made me do haikus. But if you'll humor me, I'll do both of these real quick. I just wanted to have something new for tonight, so I wrote something real quick during break. But this last one I did almost exactly a year ago up here, and looking at it, I'm like, did I write this? Yes, I did. I promise you I did. They spent their days fighting and writing about it, but biting their lips. Nights spent screaming and singing and swaying their hips. It was intense to see from the outside looking in. I thought to take control, but it's always been him to make commands. And now he's in there all alone, throwing his hands up in agony, not understanding this tragedy, but understanding is something he didn't take easily. So he won't take to it when I try to say that they're toxic together, and whether we see a better day, to ever feel better is to weather the life, an individual experience through joy and through strife. Self-cultivation was the realization as to how to meet in the meadow and in this obfuscation. And with patience and time, thoughts and feelings fall in sync, all will be calm and not overthought, I think.
Well done.
Yeah, it was a short one.
Okay, I just wanted to give you something new. Give me more of that ingenious demeanor. In no time, make a rhyme, couldn't be cleaner. Let it flow nonchalant, don't you know it's what I want? Impromptu, I want to hear it and feel it. For tonight, I must write, rehearse, and reveal it.
All right. Coming up next, we've got Robert. Everybody get over Robert. Yeah!
Go, Robert.
Go.
So I brought a little entertainment for you tonight. I wrote it today, this morning. I had a lot of other things I wrote, but I thought I wrote something stupid off the cuff because it made me feel good. Turd-based inspirations aren't sufficient for knowledge. I cook up my casserole while your mom's stewing in her own porridge. I keep all my nice things in a little compartment. I'm so homeless that I live in an apartment. I pay for it with my student loans. Donald Trump hates me. I spent lots of money at Target buying supplies covered in paisley. I sold my calculator to a dope purveyor, but I waste time spitting rhymes like Blackadder. I buy so much caffeine and alcohol, I always have a full bladder. I've been eating so much chicken, now I'm feeling like a falcon. My dad was an accountant, and I'm allergic to talcum. I had a thick burst of inspiration because I was listening to Amoebics. Now I feel like a trust punk choating it in Phoenix. Arizona's the one place I've been in life I can't remember. I was 1 year old, older than the age when my father was dismembered. No, just kidding. We're all responsible for our own psychological development. Even if we spent time saying stupid things, it must become part of the final envelopment. If you start, like, with a pattern, something you didn't mean to, if it's a pattern of your existence, sometimes it's better not to shake it. I didn't pause and say off because I'm not a black rapper. I would have been doing it ironically, and it's disrespectful, that kind of chatter. I'm white as hell. Nervous like I was on the phone. I'm shaking my leg. I could be at home alone, productive, because I'm methed up to the bone, but that's not how I've been choosing to spend my student loans. Won't stop there, because that's just such a nice ending, so I can't leave it at that. I don't know why I walked up here. I'm afraid my face looks fat. In my graduation picture, I look pitiful and sad. It's not inspiring, but it does say something bad. Life's kind of shitty, like the structure of this poem. The only way to get away with it is to end and stop the rhyming scheme all of a sudden and end up kind of, what does this say? Okay, yeah, sure, whatever.
That fell apart wonderfully.
A nice crumb.
Couldn't have been better.
All right, coming up next, we've got Joe. Everybody give it up for Joe.
Joe on the go. Looking sexy today, Joe.
So I had nothing prepared, but I was talked into doing this, doing something off the fly by a man with a really impressive hat.
Thank you so much.
And it's a lot of pressure because this whole entire night there have been so many good poets and so many good words spoken from this mic. It feels like it's all leading up to something, and it would just be very disappointing if all of a sudden what I had to say in the mic sucked. So. But life can kind of be like that sometimes. You see, I almost died. I almost died like an existentialist the other day. Yesterday.
Yeah.
No, not from syphilis, but from. I almost got hit by a bus. Which is kind of funny. I was walking across the street right after one of my classes, and I stopped at the intersection. I was going over to Alvin Orts to get a cheap but deliciously well-priced sandwich. And I'm standing near the parking garage, and I was stuck there at the light. The lane going right was jam-packed with traffic, and stopped right in front of me was this girl in a very big truck who was just frustrated by the traffic jam, but seeing a pedestrian over on the side of the road, thought for 1 second to show a moment of kindness to divert her frustration and something to help a fellow human being. So she waved me on, like this. Come, walk across. And I was walking across the street because it's like, oh wow, a cute girl is being nice to me. And I would have walked out into the other lane had I not looked up at the last second and seen the bus coming, and it went right in front of me. And and had it not been for this one pointless habit that was ingrained in me by my parents when I was very, very young, I would not be so much dust in the wind, but more blood spatter on a bumper.
Oh, poetry.
So at this point, I think to myself, wow. So that would have been the end of me. Maybe in another universe or another multiverse or something like that. I didn't look up, and I got hit by that bus, and everything ended. And at that point, I say, fuck it. Not because thoughts like that are uncomfortable. I would rather be a nihilist than to even comprehend the thought of my world crashing down and poetry night continuing the next week, or my parents grieving at my funeral, and then slowly, weeks on and weeks on, my parents, my family, all my friends and loved ones moving on with their lives, and then being forgotten. So at this point, I could either continue, maybe months, years. This is going to be this one moment, this intersection of two competing destinies, one a destiny and one even just dead.
That's quite a destiny.
It's not useful. It's not good to think on those thoughts and think about them forever. Eventually you have to let them go. Or you can get really angsty about them for a couple seconds, put yourself in the center of the world, and then talk about it at a poetry night. So everybody in here is selfish. That's what I was saying.
All right. Joe, I would like to think, though, are you familiar with Highlander? Highlander, the show?
Yeah. So
the
are you
series?
saying that, like, if the bus driver hit me, you would get my power?
No. See, in the alternate universes where you did get hit, that one died. So then all their power went to you. So you were now stronger because of that. Yeah, exactly. See, there you go.
So seeing near-death experiences and survive, so you can get more power.
Yeah.
Is that the moral of the story?
Stay up late and smoke on that one.
Slacker of San Marcos.
Okay, coming up next we have Paris.
Yeah.
Give it up for Paris, everybody. Hey!
Call me Pam if you want. So I've never done this, and I'm really, really nervous.
Whoa!
I don't know if I should read off it. What do y'all think?
Yes. You want to hear every word.
I'm just gonna read off it because I don't want to pass that on you, okay? It's burning up in here. Turn on the AC because my atoms are moving and generating heat. But that's my heart because it's beating so fast because I have to get to that class, to get that hat, to get that paper that says, "World, now I can." And that paper will be who I am. The degree is high and I'm in the flames. One must know there's no shame in education, but their education does not make them. Their grades do not make them. They are essentially the same person as the man on the street laying on the dirty pavement, who essentially has a degree in psychology to make a black man feel the white man's burden, to outsmart someone who got a certification of their debts, to pay off by working for some callous corporation, some corporation that won't even bother to dust off his name on the plaque on the wall or his name scribed in the pavement meant to be bulldozed by another corporation, the corporation that outsmarted theirs in that situation. In that situation, we hope it's not us, but someone of no close relation, because then we won't have this heated situation of wanting to turn on the AC when we can't even pay the rent.
Girl.
Hell yeah, that's your first time. That is exactly how you do it. That was great. All right, this is our last poet for round 2. Everybody give it up for Nicholas.
There he is.
Yo también.
Está chévere, cabrón.
That means asshole,
Sure.
Not exactly.
We'll say Chivo, wait. También. Okay, who wants to be the film first?
Yes.
Alright, so
Oh, we're filming it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Everyone's filming it.
They don't know that. I haven't told them.
Okay, anyway, working on this a little bit. I kind of came up with this phrase this week, and so I'm kind of putting some words together all night. So let's do a little bit of improv right here too, Thom.
Sure. Okay. Algebra.
Oh,
okay.
No, algebra. Yours.
Good man. We trust you.
I'm glad. All right, so here we go. Her skin was as untouched but as wise as the dark earth. Her hair held the smells and sounds, experiences, and senses. She tasted like unknown. In this algebraic equation, I found myself at the end on the other side of this equal sign. I found myself and all the palpitations of these numbers that I found in her skin. They were a grand equation. They were a new experience for her and I. She was integrity untouched, and I found solace in the roundness and geometry of her curve and the upward slope of her breast come up to that mighty voice, and the decibels were numbers, and I said, I love you.
Woo!
So there wasn't any story.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, that is the end of round 2. We're going to meet back about 10:25, 10:30. That's when round 3 will start. And also, yeah.
I've been running for 4 years straight now a website on YouTube called Open Mics Austin. So this whole show is being filmed. and the whole show will go up. Right now there's 15, 16, 17 something venues that have been in and around Austin. So the whole video will go up. If you have any concerns, you don't want your piece, let me know. Otherwise, it becomes part of a collection, this archive of 4 or 5 years worth of open mics in the greater Austin area, which I'm thrilled to have made and been a part of, and thrilled to celebrate y'all. The idea is to celebrate you guys in the open mic scene. And at this point, there are 300 something artists on it, so you're the members of a very large, important family. Thank you.
There are cards for the link, too.
They will come. Or
Sure.
something.
Okay. Let's
Field
do it.
of poetry.
Bingo.
All right. So this is round 3, everybody. And and thank you so much for sticking around.
Yeah.
Y'all are all super awesome. And just so you know, one of the things that we like to do after the end of the round 3 is we all kind of like to, help pick up. Kind of put things back to the way they are, and it's just, it makes you feel good.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll sleep great at night. It's fantastic.
Drugs.
So without further ado,
Right.
may I present to you Thom and Magic Jack. Everybody get Thom.
20 years ago today, around Rubenmeyer, which is north of the Bark and the Harbour Sea, which is now Halcyon, an entirely different corporate enterprise that you should not go into. This man and I did a poetry read to almost anyone, no one except the tables and chairs, and he stood with me for hours on end, and that's what bonds us. For the rest of his life, P.W. Covington, I shall praise him because of this shared experience. I want to share this story with him. He worked for the Department of Interior, the Park Service, which of course has that responsibility for keeping alive those parts of wilderness, which are of course against all property rights, because no one can own the wilderness, can they? They can only destroy it. Well, there's a white buffalo mural in East Texas on the walls, and it's older than hundreds of years ago. One time I was doing poetry by Barton Springs, and a Native American was doing the story of the white buffalo mural, and what he said was this: all water, like all people, is one. And when it comes down to specifics, Barton Springs is part of Comel Springs, is part of the springs in San Antonio, which are capped by the Catholics, so they're no longer wild and free. And every spring is connected subterranean, like we are all connected in the great supra-consciousness. We may be air creatures, but we're also water creatures. We came from the sea, and we will sometimes have our ashes go back on the waves. But in between, we're drinking this water of inspiration. The waves remind us that we are ancient creatures as well as modern. That mural has survived because it was secret and shared amongst the tribes. The other thing he shared was that the Native Americans learned from the deer. They watched where the deer went because the deer knew where the water went. So they had the deer as an icon. They had water as a truth. You have poetry, which is the flowing inspiration in you. And the mural is not stuck on the wall somewhere. It's in every word you heard and remembered this evening. It's in every inspiration that we take home like a takeaway. The shales of archaeological people through the 3 layers of this evening. Wherever you go, whatever version you have, like Rashomon or the usual suspects, we're all going to see this evening differently. We'll all have our different versions. But what we have is the flow of our being together. What we know is that we don't.
All right, thank you, Thom and Magic Jack.
Magic Jack.
And coming up next, we've got it's Magic Jack.
Oh, Magic
Everybody
Jack.
give it up for Magic Jack!
Why does that keep happening?
It's like it's planned.
Deja vu.
Okay, so we're going to try something a little bit different tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say the words to the song instead of sing the words to the song. That way, I'm legal.
Okay.
See what I did?
Just this
Now,
once.
let's see if this actually works.
Okay.
So it goes which song should it be? Oh, okay. This is about being there for another person. Or maybe that other person being there for you when you really need something. When you need a place to run around, just call and say it. You gonna say it? to hide away. You just call and say I'm on when that load gets heavy and the road gets long, you won't be doing wrong. No, you won't be doing wrong. Rest your heart, rest your real. Take all the time you need. Take all the time you want. Rest your heart, rest your very heart. It's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be all right. I had to do something.
No,
I couldn't help myself.
No, you can't.
And when a rain cloud breaks out over you, there's some shelter here, you know what to do. And when times get tough, and they do someday, you know where to go. You know what to say. Rest your heart, rest your weary heart. It's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be alright. On my way. That's all you gotta say. On my way, on my way. That's all you got to say. Thank you very much.
Alright, thank you, Magic Jack. You know what? You're kind of like that kid in the classroom. It's always kind of like testing the boundaries.
Yeah.
Testing the
Yeah.
rules, see what you can get away with.
You found me out.
Yeah, I got my eye on you.
Troublemaker.
Alright. I went through a period in my life where I became obsessed with Alan Watts. I listened to the dude anytime I was in the car, when I was playing the game, just he was always on in the background with his podcast, with his radio interviews, with his lectures, all that sort of stuff. And so it all kind of seeped into me. And there's one thing that he was talking about where he was calling photographers the mystics of the ordinary. And that really, really hit me and stuck with me. So this is for the photographer, the mystics of the ordinary. On the side of a lone stretch of highway, there's an old house that no one notices. It's seen, but immediately forgotten because it is decrepit and forlorn, with its broken window frames, wood warped and jagged from abuse, slanted at odd angles with mismatched geometry, and all abandoned, save for the mice and the bugs and all that non-consequential stuff. Then the photographer drives by, and when they see the house, they stop. They contemplate. They get out their camera and take a series of shots. An hour later, they go home to develop the film. They print out their favorite shot and show it to everybody that they know. On the side of a lone stretch of highway, there's an antique house that everyone notices. It's seen and immediately remembered because it is rustic and gothic, with its wounded window frames, wood bursting with pride, arranged in unique angles with complementary geometry, all fulfilled with the memories and the battle scars and all that non-material stuff. Thank you. Seriously, if you've never listened to Alan Watts, get on YouTube, look up his stuff. The guy he's trying to bridge the gap between Western and Eastern philosophy. He's showing you how our mindsets are different and how to sort of merge the two together. It's one of the most influential people that I've never met. All right, so coming up next, we've got Louise. Everybody get Louise! Yay!
Every little breeze seems to whisper Louise. The breeze seems to whisper Louise.
Go Louise! Hey, hey. Republicus. There is a feeling conservatives have, a great sense of unease, that somehow, somewhere, someone is happy. And government had something to do with it. Rest assured, those of you afflicted with Republicus, you are doing what you can to keep happiness from happening. Of that, you must be very proud.
Shots fired. All right. Coming up next, we've got Mr. PW. PW! Yeah. Give me a quick round, folks.
Don't do that here.
I was further down the list.
Oh, yeah. We've had enough crap around here.
Many years ago, Thom got on my ass for calling poetry shit. I said, here's some of my shit. I don't know.
That's
Two
a
years
sacrilege
fuck
in
with
his
me
book.
every time
That's a
I
sacrilege.
Oh, your poetry shit, Patrick. Nobody's heard this before. It's very old.
I hate it.
It's called House of Cards. Every now and then he'll write a love poem. And just now, I have the feeling that the stars have lost their meaning and eternal things are phantoms now, laughing in the wind. I've walked the scorching desert and I've sailed the raging sea, but in the end, I know it's all the same for folks like you and me. And just now, I remember waking from a dream, a place in Marin County and tall, tall trees so green. Inspires remorse, I find, for the torches I had to buy, to burn the bridges of mirror and smoke, stumbling towards the light. And just now, I can't look forward to a golden road at all. And I guess every house of cards we build is gonna have to fall. Like a cowboy rodeo rider on an angry bucking bronc. I just can't slow it down, and the only way to make it stop is to just let go holding of the reins and simply take the ride. And just now I stand aside amazed at how we both survived. And just now I feel it's all the same with every break of day. That maybe it could be better somehow back there by the bay. But the headlights on the highway can blind you to the truth. Just like bus stop benches, soup line food, and rot gun 80 proof. And just now, I have a feeling it's not that bad at all. And that every house of cards we build is gonna have to fall.
Oh, yeah!
PW, follow me
Happy name.
Did you like my little step there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I worked on it. All right. Coming up next, we've got Scott. Everybody give her a Scott. Great Scott.
Was that your dance step?
My dad's step?
Yeah. She had a little music tone to it.
Just a piece of paper.
It's whatever you want it to be.
Thought I might just drum on the guitar a little bit. First off, I don't know about y'all, there's less room less people in the room now, so but this beats the shit out of TV.
Oh yeah. What's TV?
Yeah, really good point. YouTube, those other media.
Exactly. Smart.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's our fault.
Okay, now there we go. Is this for your voice? Yes, for my voice. Yeah, I think that's turned on, right? Can you turn the power on the right? Yeah, thank you. Okay, hello, yeah, okay. I'm sitting outside talking with Jack, and he's one of the improv people, so, I thought, and this might be breaking a very important rule, because, I've been told that you're not supposed to write poems about writing poetry, but I thought I'd write an improv about writing improv. That'd be sort of a trip, sort of the meta improv, so we'll see where it goes. So there was a time a while back, about 4 years ago, I'm sitting in Cafe Caffeine, South Austin.
Yeah.
And I'd been going, a while, a couple months, and the place was, you told out, it was fucking hot. It was great. We had multimedia, we had computers set up, and laptops, and space shoes, and water being handed out, and it was hot. So I used to think, okay, man, I got that coming. It was Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever, and oh yeah, this is supposed to be about improv, so it's really just trying to figure out what the hell you're trying to say. But the whole point is, don't be afraid to say it, even though you don't know what it is, because that's sort of the idea. You gotta be afraid. You gotta live right there on the edge of what's not possible and is possible, and then you gotta go do it anyway. So here we go. So I'm sitting there in Cafe Caffeine, and I'd get ready. I said, oh god, I'm going to the mic. I gotta take this stuff. I gotta be ready. And so I'd take things about water and trees and love and birds and war and hatred, and I'd take them all with me. And I'd sit with a nice big stack on the desk there at the park. And I got used to watching this big round guy, who apparently I knew a long time ago. He didn't remember I knew him, but he would sit there and he would do this improv stuff, and he'd just make stuff up. So I sort of got acclimatized, you might say. So it turns out, while I was sitting there watching all of these other poets do their work, reading, I would be editing what I was going to say at the table with my red pen. It's not quite right. And one day I'm standing up there at the mic and I'm still editing while I'm at the fucking mic with my pen. And I'm like scratching through words, that's not right. And finally I say, to hell with this, and I threw the page aside and said, okay, look, I know what I want to say, which is what every poet in this room does. They all know what they want to say. It just turns out some of it ends up on paper, sometimes it doesn't. And so I just said it. I said, it's about this, it's about that, it's about whatever. And pretty soon I was addicted. In a big, serious, crazy way. And I've talked to other people about it. I talked to Jack about it. I said, man, what's it like when you walk off the stage after you've done improv? And to me, it feels like I could be literally swept off the floor or poured into a puddle, like, on the side of the road where the water goes down. This one sort of feels like you just sort of pour yourself off. But that's sort of the idea. You take it out of the back of your mind and you say, this is it, man. I am as crazy as a motherfucker, and everybody else in this room is too. So I'm like at home. I'm sitting at home tonight going, man, I get to go home. I get to go to With the Dead. This is where I'm my home. This is where I live. Because I get to do crazy, wild, wacky stuff, and everybody does it too. So it's like a fiesta. This is the guitar part. I don't know that either, by the way. I'm just making this up too. So, what do you do when you're trying to improv? You go like this. Okay, one second. I don't use a guitar anymore. So you do something crazy, you say. okay, let's do something different. Let's use our hands. You do the unexpected, because the whole point is you're not really supposed to get situated in where you're supposed to be. But inside of this thing, this cage, this mic, inside those hearts, inside those chests is some word, some thought, some bold statement that says, life is crazy! And I've lost my mind 3 times. I've been institutionalized. So I know what I speak. But you keep going. And the question as a writer is not, I mean, we all write. But our lives are written. Today you're going to write your drive home. Today you're going to write your wake-up, tomorrow you'll write your wake-up call. So why not write constantly? You just let it all sort of just roll around. I sent out a note the other day, and I was really thrilled with this. This was sort of where you can tell I'm sort of like hitting the curve. Okay, so I sent out this note on Facebook the other day to talk about, I visualized for the longest time, I visualized an ocean. And there's a boat on it, okay, in the middle of the ocean, and there's nobody around. And the boat's empty. Okay, the boat is empty. But in the middle of the boat, and I do this to meditate and to relax myself, and so I think that's what I do. What would you do if you sat down with the pencil? There's a pencil rolling back and forth on the table. See, I missed that a while ago, but it's okay. And so it's rolling back and forth on the table. It's rolling back and forth on the table. And so I will go there and I will sit and I'll look at the pencil and go, wow, cool. The opportunity to write something. And so I sent it out and people said, oh, one of them said they'd write a note to themselves, like a sticky note or you could chart map or whatever. Then it occurred to me, I know what I as an artist want to do. So I broke the pencil in half, took my sharpener out, sharpened both ends of it, set it back on the table, and like this, disappeared. Thank you.
Yes. I would read it.
Okay.
Go Scott.
Okay. All right. Good. Because I almost skipped you.
Oh.
No, not like that. No. Not like that. It was, yeah, because it was, you know, I'm the bad guy here. All right, I'm the bad guy.
You are bad.
I know.
That's good.
All right, Sadie, there she is. Yes. Hey, Sadie, everybody. Yeah. What did happen back there?
It's all
yeah, there you go. Sorry.
My favorite part about summer are the fireflies. That being said, the first time I saw them was a few weeks ago, and I've only seen them twice since then. I wonder if they ever forget to shine, or if they're reminded by the stars at night that they truly need to see past the dark. Or if they've ever fallen in love with a shooting star because it moves just like them, or maybe they wonder why shooting stars disappear and don't reappear like the flies on Earth. I wonder if shooting stars ever feel guilty that they can't grant the wish of every person whose eyes happen to fall upon them. I wonder if the stars ever say you can't trust me because they're aware that one day their light will burn out and they won't be able to guide lost ships back home. I wonder if the ocean has ever cried for the sunken sailors. God knows it screams for the misguided because I can hear the crashing of the waves and I don't even live near the beach. I wonder if lighthouses say good morning to the sun or if they're too exhausted from a long night of spinning to get up early enough. I wonder why I see the same sun every day, but it always looks different. It must be ever-changing. I'm ever-changing, so maybe there's a sun underneath my skin. And if there is, I wonder why it's not bright enough to fight the darkness that lingers under my bed. I wonder if the monsters are lonely, and if that's why they never leave, or maybe they're just scared of rejection. But I've been rejected enough times to be willing to accept them. I wonder why they do harm, or if they do harm, or if those are just the stories we tell ourselves and we're too stubborn to let them go. I'm so stubborn that my baby teeth won't even fall out. Maybe that's why I think I have such an odd smile, but nevertheless, I'll smile anyways. I'll smile for the fireflies who give me a reason to love summer, even when it feels like summer has turned against me.
There you go.
See?
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along, we've got Kayla. Everybody get over Kayla. Yay!
So I don't have this one memorized. I wrote it not too long ago. It's my second happy poem, first love poem. Oh, Dad's in the room.
But he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. He's cool.
Right, Dad, cool?
Might need to take a bathroom break.
Ask him that after the poem.
The ride home's gonna be a little awkward. Just kidding, it's not that bad. When I lay on your chest, your heart whites out all of the noise behind us and brushes my worries under the rug. The sound of its beating beats away the war inside of me until my vocabulary can only mutter the words, "You are beautiful." Your beauty is an unattainable kind of pretty, a pretty that no boy can get through the state of nirvana, the kind of pretty that doesn't make you a pretty boy, but a beautiful one. When your hand laces through mine, I feel like it becomes the corset holding me together in a bondage I cannot receive from another person. Your arms around me force my broken pieces back together with the glue of your love. Your words slide out of your mouth so eloquently, and I wish I could just dance with them a while longer before you doubt your excellence and bury your words under your anxieties that you told yourself were true. I wish I could find the person that convinced you that you were anything but extraordinary. Make them see the moon and the stars because they can't see the moon and the stars you put into my sky every night after you say goodnight, followed by my name that your tongue paints so beautifully, lightening up the sky you created for me. You brighten my every day. I wish that I could convince you that a day spent with you is my new favorite day, besides the day when we first met, because that's when I realized my skies were dark without your smile and your stargazed eyes. Your quirkiness is the cork that relieves the pressure from my bottled emotions. When my friends called you a pretty boy, I couldn't explain to them that you were more than just pretty to me. You were beautiful.
Oh. Yeah!
Your quirkiness is the cork that releases my bottled emotions. Oh, that is brilliant.
That is. That's really
I love
good.
that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we've lost some people. So coming up next is Trevor. Everybody, give it up for Trevor!
I'll offset the love poems.
See if you can top that last one.
Yeah. No, she's getting better than me.
She is.
If not already. So this one's called Drowning Myself. I drink to drown out a life of sorrow, hoping to forget yesterday's tomorrow. 13 when alcohol first stole my youth. A 20-year veteran still dodging the truth. An adult still wrestling with depression, thinking in time that it would lessen. Barely holding on to this miserable employment as the drink washes away my life's enjoyment. Alcohol is my way to self-medicate, numbing a past too hard to contemplate. My little brother followed my alcoholic path. My son is next in line when you do the math. When will this self-inflicted cycle break? When will I hold the promises I make?
Yeah.
All right, well said. All right, coming up next we have Mr. Ben Franklin. Everybody give it up for Ben Franklin!
That's different.
This might have been a quote by Ben Franklin, I don't know. But it's funny how you put a space into words and it changes the whole meaning. Remember, the pen is a mighty tool that inflates minds into full potentials. Create rippling American poetry, foul movement, ink well stains. Reflections rain deep inside skeletal, shrill, mired remains, where words wallow inside swirling swords, full shadows, till quake open the heartbreak in ink-stained memories. Brushstroke abstract, feathered downpour in aberrations. Twist taunt, the gravity type incision in sword point precision, penetration. That dagger incision, precision of time that ferments wounds coarse. Upon weeping pages that reap the ink prick, sewn wrath impressions. Due their the immersion process reason for despondent existence. Damn the estuary where the cerebral tidal waves write depressions. Rebound the quill that lowers the spirit into despondent depositions that impregnates the fibers in tick-engorged body bagpipe deposits. Resound bowels into vowels, regurgitated acquiescent acquisitions talk. Rap-a-tat, rip-tat, blues character in heartbeats without rooted purpose. Grovel to bemoan, accusation, vibration having nothing but woe to behold, to be not the stranglehold supposition. Hear ye ravens cry forevermore forlorn, shiver quick silver suffocation, reflections that drown within the ink well stains. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And moving along, we've got. Wow.
Another person. Wow.
We got Yaya. There we go.
All right. Yeah, the crowd has kind of dwindled down.
Selective evolution.
Yeah, right? We're carrying on. All right. So I wrote this stuff a little while ago, so it's a little old, but it's still fresh and new in my heart. So we're gonna start off like this. Now, let me get my hair out.
Yeah.
I gotta feel it all.
Yeah.
I gotta feel it all. All right, here we go. All right. So hair grows and grows. Time counts and counts. Heart beats and beats, without a doubt, a doubt. Hair grows and grows. Time counts and counts. Heart beats and beats, without a doubt, a doubt. Knowing what people are saying is like slaying a dragon. I'm having issues with issues because of what I've been through. I tend to stay close and pretend to act normal, on the fence to any sort of position. Lost my intuition, or did I even have it? Did I grab it? Playing in this world, what a habit, but stagnant. Show me the answer, so I grab it. Fall back to what is that I... Hold on. I can grab it. Fall back to what is that exists. Got me making a fist, feeling the twitch and thinking about this so deeply. I just wish I could see me. Have the time to observe freely. Some healing, better yet revealing, not just dealing with trouble. Fuck a bubble, I burst, looking at horizons. I've always found comfort in trying to be relying on future time. For me to grow a future that I can't believe in. Something about me I can't really be with. I know I've got words and ideas. Onomatopoeia, yelling thoughts, crisscross my intentions beyond comprehension. Speech is gone, only noise. The hair grows and grows. Time counts and counts. Heart beats and beats, without a doubt, a doubt.
All right, everybody. Coming up next, I totally did not forget her. I swear. Coming up, it's Debangana. Everybody get over Debangana.
I read that before, but after every poetry night, I think this becomes so important for me. One who stayed after the poetry night. I was touching the grass softly, as if it is a soft embracing shawl, finding the exact spot to lie down so all the stars can see us. I was in a hurry to smooth the knots in my hair so you can lazily caress my hair, still releasing the wet aroma of bath. I was then busy calming myself so you do not sense the irrational fluttering inside me. I was then trying to evaluate how the breeze flows so your spoken poems don't fly away. I was anxious. Shall I open my eyes to see you or close them tight? I even do not know how you will see me. After the poetry, let's stay together for the rest of the night. Let's lie together under the sky. Sometime we will embrace each other. Sometime create a large space in between. Let's play with the words. Some words are beautiful. Some are very true. Some words bring tears. Some laughter aloud. There is a beautiful fragrance of our warmth, a color too. I recognized that recently. The entire sky will be sprinkled on us if we lie down together. We too will scatter all over, you will see. I was busy preparing elaborately for spending the rest of the night tenderly. I didn't know when you lay down beside me. I never anticipated when you touched my forehead, my lips. Was I asleep?
All right, coming up next, we got about 5 poets left. That's it. That is it. Woo! And I get to go back to Victoria. Yeehaw! Oh, sorry. I'm just psyching myself up. All right, coming up next. Nick, are you going? Yes. Coming next, we got Nick. Everybody get over Nick.
Here we go. Children weep on deathbeds and sleep on serpent boards just to get their point across to the main man in Egypt. But sooner or later, they will fall down and laugh eternally inside the dark hole of the galaxy.
All right, now these last poets that we've got are all new to Poetry
Yeah,
Night.
yeah.
They haven't any other round. So coming up next, we've got Serge. Everybody get up for Serge! Yeah.
What's up, guys? So this is the first time I do this.
Whoa, first time.
Yeah, first time.
Ever?
Ever.
Nobody?
I'm also going to be doing this in a different language, and I understand that you're not going to know what the fuck I'm saying, but thank you. I can translate it for you.
Yeah, don't worry, I do that too.
Okay, perfect. So, aquí les dejo mis resentimientos. Todo, absolutamente, pero primeramente el sentimiento. Sus tendencias y sus hábitos que dejan mi pueblo en llantos. La mota que fuman y la coca que respiran. Y todos los acontecimientos que no ven que transpiran. Me dejan con ira. ¿Cuándo no serán ciegos? Ustedes nos matan por su adicción al cielo. Y en México, todos vivos en el infierno. Mientras te quedas en tu casa drogado, sigues ignorando al país que has matado. So, in English, here are my resentments. It's not gonna rhyme, by the way.
Doesn't matter.
Here are my resentments. Everything, absolutely, but firstly, my sentiments. Your tendencies and your habits that have left my town in tears, the dope that you smoke and the coke that you snort, and all the events that you don't see that transpire leave me with rage. When are you gonna stop being blind? You're killing us. For your addiction to the heavens, but in Mexico we're all alive in hell, and while you lay in your bed, drugged up, keep ignoring the country that you have killed.
Very cool. You know, I really, really love it when we have bilingual poets, and especially if they read the poetry in both languages.
Yeah.
That's a very cool thing to have. Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Go, Serge.
Coming up next, we have Becca. Everybody give it up for Becca. This is her first time. Give it up for her.
So I actually didn't have anything planned. My best friend texted me and told me this is happening, so I was like, alright. So I just have one on my phone, so it's kind of old, but...
Awesome.
Do you ever look around and realize you're in a whole new dimension? You look in the mirror, and you don't even know who's looking back at you. It's like you're trying to claw yourself out of a cage, but it's your own skin holding you back. Because inside there used to be a light, hope, sanity, and now it's just empty chaos. Toxic choices have washed away all recognition. You don't even look the same. And everyone else is applauding at your success. But you can't find it in you to scream for help. This is what you wanted. This is what you prayed for. But if only you'd known. If only you knew that with this came that. Maybe you'd love yourself enough to say no. To say I love myself more than this. Because that mirror you're looking into belongs to someone else. And someone else. And someone else. Reflections seen through eyes that won't ever see beyond the skin. And you're just clawing yourself apart in the dark as you stand naked in his bedroom trying to find your fucking pants.
Damn, that ending is a gut punch. That's, yeah, so come back. That was great. Keep doing that. You're doing something good. So we got 2 bullets left, and that's it. And so, you brave, awesome, wonderful people that have stayed, if you could help me, you know, kind of get this, you're so awesome. Yeah, I would just sing your praise all day long. So coming up next, we have, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce, is it Mikyal?
Mikyal.
Mikyal, yeah, oh yeah. Get over Mikyal.
Thank you guys. I'm also a virgin poet.
Perfect.
Let's see what we got here.
First time.
Can I do this?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's legal.
It's sanctioned.
I've been healed, but I'm still sick. Throw the stones and the notions caught up in the eyes of the public. Cold and dried, calmed and guided through the countryside. Even now, it seems to haunt me like the ocean. So you're doing time, sipping wine. Brown eyes, black hair, backflipping. Calls the storm to her again. Cyril, are you still young? Did you practice all you preach? Just believe in yourself. Your way will soon be revealed. Like a poet wrote it, bleeding ink, striving to capture, tangled and thrown, striving against the current. Shapeshifter believers. There was no analyzing, these are only rigid marks of ink upon the paper. So, you're doing time, sipping wine, backflipping, brown eyes, black hair, calls a storm to her again. Cyril, are you still young? Did you practice all that you preach? Just believe in yourself. Your way will soon be revealed. Thank you. A lot of beautiful poets here tonight. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you as well. Hell yeah. It's been a great night. Y'all, it's been a real cool energy. Hey, do you have another one?
Are we done?
No. Well, yeah, you got another one? Morgan Day, right?
That is me.
Yeah, that's her. Get over Renee.
She knows who she is.
I wasn't prepared. Let me find one.
Yeah, you were.
Alright. Okay, you ready?
This is on the thighs.
Your mind is an iceberg, a crystal
crystal castle under lock and key, how I wish to acquaint myself with the secret sea monsters and mer people that keep you company. Unveil your drawbridge, open your gates to me, lover, let me in. I crave the intricacies of you. The ever-changing signposts nailed above your door knockers no longer satiate. My siren sings for you. Useless sentiments destined to fall upon deaf ears made of stone. Gargoyle, you are cold. And I'm just talking to myself again.
Oh.
All right, everybody. We're down to the last poet of the night.
Last poet.
And so I would like you to give a big hand for Mr. Clint. Everyone give her Clint. Hey!
I'm not going to try to move that. I'll just speak out loud.
It's close to you. Down.
Hope my phone doesn't die before I'm done with this.
Alright.
This is slippery, people. What about the time? You were rolling over, fall on your face. You must have been having fun. Walk lightly. Think of a time. You best believe this is real. Put away that gun. This part is simple. Try to recognize what's in your mind. God help us. Help us lose our minds. These slippery people help us understand. What's the matter with him? He's alright. I see his face, the Lord won't mind. Don't play no games, he's alright. Love from the bottom to the top. Turn like a wheel, he's alright. See yourself, the Lord won't mind. We're gonna move right now. Turn like a wheel inside a wheel. I remember when, sitting in the tub, pulled out the plug. The water was running out. Cool down. Stop acting crazy. They're gonna leave, and we'll be on our own. 7 times 5. They were living creatures. Watch them come to life. Right before your eyes. Backsliding. How do you do? These slippery people gonna see through.
Hey.
Finished it off with a little bit of jazz hands. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a great way to end the night. All right, everybody, y'all been absolutely fantastic. Give yourself a big round of applause.